In this episode, I'm joined by my good friend Rat. We talk through NFL teams, whether I'm bearish or bullish on them, some brief reasonings behind it, some players as well, some other things that aren't related to sports at all, whether I'm bullish or bearish on that. Fun little segment there. And then after that, I'm joined by my good friends Mikey and Cam. We go through week 2, recapping all of the action, all of our bets, where we went wrong, where we went right, what the trap games were, with looking ahead to week 3, which we then pick a spread, our pick against the spread for every game for that. Not a lot of agreements on that segment, but we made it through. And finally, I give you my 5 NCAA takeaways and my flash 5 for NCAA picks. Also in the NFL segment, I asked them to give me a focus 5, Cam and Mikey. They give me their focus 5. I gave my focus 5 of the week. So hopefully we win all our bets this week. Let's dive into this episode of the Dubcast. Do something, man. People are questioning you. Shut up. Shut up. Okay, yep, do that. Sure, guys. Stupid and dumb. Just an idiot. Get your shit together, son. Fuck it. I loved it. Welcome to the Dubcast.
Today I'm interviewing the Dubcast about his opinions on the future of the NFL for this season. And
Bullish or bearish?
For the future in general. We're playing the game bullish or bearish. We're going to go division by division here. I'm probably going to give you...
Just write down every team.
I'm probably going to give you a team. I'm going to give you a team name, and you tell me if you're bullish or bearish just for the 2024 season.
Do I have to explain or no? I'll just say bullish or bearish.
Rapid fire, we're snapping this off.
Alright.
And then I'm also, after I go through each division team, I'm going to give you either one player or one member of the team or organization. And then you give me bullish or bearish. And then you can explain, I think bullish or bearish is for, like, we'll say the next 5 years for this player / team.
Okay.
Organizations.
And bullish is good, right?
Bullish is good, yes.
Bull market.
Alright, Bills.
Bullish.
Jets. This is just for the season for the team.
Just for this season?
Just for this season for
bullish.
each team. Patriots.
Bearish.
Dolphins.
Bearish.
This is after to it.
Yeah. This is pre-week 2. But
Pre-week 2, but after.
Post TNF.
You can see this, yeah. Alright, Josh Allen.
I was bearish anyway on the Fins.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just said they weren't going to make playoffs.
That's it.
But bullish on Josh Allen.
Aaron Rodgers.
For the next 5 years?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess for the remainder of his career, in probably 2 or 3 years.
I don't know. Say like the middle. Bearish. He's going to probably retire after this year.
Christian Gonzalez.
Bullish.
Gang signs.
Bearish.
You're bearish on gang signs?
Yeah, he should retire.
What do you think about Joe Flacco?
Bullish. Bearish. I don't know. Oh, Joe Flacco to the Dolphins?
Yeah.
Bullish.
Bullish.
Yeah.
Texans.
Bullish.
Jaguars.
Bullish.
Titans.
Bearish.
Colts.
Bullish.
Stephon Diggs.
Bearish.
You're bearish on Diggs?
Yeah.
He had 2 touchdowns week 1.
Okay, he's the problem.
He's a problem?
He's gonna be tweeting weird shit in week 4.
He was dancing with his teammates.
Okay. He was dancing with Josh Allen when he threw him touchdowns. And then
Alright. Trevor Lawrence / Mac Jones.
Bullish on both.
There you go. I wrote nothing down for the Titans because no one cares about the Titans at all. Anthony Richardson.
Bullish.
Alright, we're going to the north here now.
But no injuries.
No
Hopefully.
injuries. You're predicting you're bullish on no injuries? What about injuries?
Well, I'm
injuries?
bullish that if he has no injuries.
Anthony Richardson injuries, bearish or bullish?
Bearish. He's started like 17 games since high school. Like all throughout. Yeah. It's crazy.
Bengals.
This year, bullish.
I agree. Ravens.
Bullish.
Steelers.
I mean, depends on your definition, but I'd probably say bearish. Defense is really good though.
Browns.
Bearish.
Alright, Joe Burrow.
Next 5 years?
Yep.
Bearish. I think he's slowly regresses.
They played the Patriots week 1 and got smoked, and now he's saying bearish.
I predicted Burrow to win MVP this year. Still think bearish though.
Lamar.
See, I think I'm bearish, but I think he's gonna win a Super Bowl. I just don't know. I don't think he's gonna be as good as. I think he's already at his peak now.
If you think he's gonna win a Super Bowl, that means bullish.
Okay.
Winning one Super Bowl in 5 years, it has to be bullish.
All right, bullish.
T.J. Watt,
Bullish, best defense player in the league.
potentially the best player in the league. Kamala Harris.
Um,
Kamala Harris is the Browns pick.
bullish.
Self-explanatory. Bullish on Kamala.
Yeah. Kamala who?
Kamala Harris,
Like the presidential candidate?
the presidential candidate.
Bullish.
You're bullish on Kamala?
I think she's gonna win.
I think she's gonna win. I think it's pretty close.
Pretty bearish on that one.
All right, Chiefs,
Bullish.
Bullish.
They're gonna three-peat.
Chargers,
Bullish.
Raiders,
Bearish.
Broncos.
Bearish.
Is Travis Kelce a bum?
No.
You're bullish on Kelce?
No. Well, yes.
We'll say next 2 years.
I'm
for Kelce.
bullish on Kelsey. I think he can just be. He can just be
right now.
Gronk.
He's junk. Jim Harbaugh,
Bullish.
bullish on Harbaugh.
Unfortunately.
Whatever the coach's name is from the Raiders, who was like a beast
Antonio
last year.
Pierce?
Yeah,
I'll say bullish.
Sean,
I don't
Sean Payton. This is a real coach's question. here.
Bearish.
Bearish. I'll give you a little bonus. AFC. Bo Nix.
Bearish.
Bearish.
I think he's gonna be awful.
Respect it. NFC. Giants.
Bearish. Until 2 years from now, and they get Arch Manning.
Eagles.
For this year, bullish.
Bullish.
Yeah.
Commies.
For this year, bearish.
He's on his phone on
My
his own
mom's texting me.
podcast. He's
You-
texting his mom.
Just,
No, mom, I don't want any.
She's like
vegetables
asking
for
me to
dinner."
bring stuff to the beach. Like we might even go to the beach. Anyways,
He said he doesn't want any broccoli. He doesn't like broccoli.
broccoli, bearish.
You're bearish on broccoli.
Yeah.
Commies.
Bearish this year.
Cowboys.
Future though, bullish. Cowboys this year. If the goal is to win a Super Bowl, bearish. But
What if the goal is to
make the playoffs,
be
bullish.
close at the end of the NFC Championship game?
Bearish still.
Fine. Danny Dimes.
Most bearish you can possibly be.
He's really fast for a white guy too.
Okay, he's bearish.
Are the Eagles frauds?
No.
No.
Not this year. They're gonna come back this year.
Jaden Daniels.
Bullish, slightly.
I don't know. I don't. What about the Steph Curry thing?
What's the Steph Curry
With
thing?
his mouth guard, how he just chews it and doesn't eat it. Actually, he doesn't wear it normally.
No, it seems to work well for Curry.
Yeah, but he's not Curry. He's Jaden Daniels.
Mm.
So you're bearish or bullish
Slightly-
on
slightly
bearish or
bu-
bullish on the mouth guard?
Bearish on the mouth guard, slightly bullish overall on Daniels.
Dak Prescott
Bearish. Yeah,
got
bearish.
paid.
He got paid, so he's nothing to fight for anymore.
South, we're going to the Falcons.
Bullish.
Saints.
This Falcons might win like 9 games in a row. Saints, bearish.
Bucks.
Bearish.
Really? Baker's a legend, dude. Whatever.
Okay, we'll see how it works.
Panthers.
Most bearish you can possibly be.
Yeah, there you go. Kirk and his elite offense. Next few years.
Bullish.
Derek Carr.
Bearish. I think he's falling off.
Baker / Evans / Godwin /
Bullish on Evans.
running backs.
Probably bullish on Godwin. And bearish on Baker.
What'd you say you were for Evans?
Bullish. Evans
He
is
had
like
two nice
he's like the most
snags last week.
underrated player in the NFL.
Bryce Young next 5 years.
Bullish.
They have
I like
0
Bryce
draft
Young.
picks. They're like
Nah, they'll figure it out.
they're like gonna get demoted.
Jonathan
Alright.
Brooks.
North Bears,
Bullish.
Lions,
Bearish.
Packers,
Bullish.
Vikings.
Bearish.
Caleb Williams.
Bullish. I think he's gonna be the good. He might be Mahomes.
Does Jared Goff suck?
No.
Bearish
But-
or bullish?
I would be like neither on him. He's just literally the definition of like mid and good.
Jordan Love. Is he hurt? What's up with Jordan Love? I don't even know what. Is he hurt? I don't
He's
even know.
overrated now because everyone hopped in the hype train. I would say he's not. He's probably gonna be back in like 3 weeks.
You said Sam Darnold might win the comeback
Yeah,
player
very
of the year.
bullish.
Bullish on Darnold, but you're bearish on the Vikings this year.
Yeah.
But you're bullish on Darnold comeback.
They're
player
gonna
of
win
the
like 8 or 9 games.
year. You can
but
get
they're not
comeback player of the year 8 or 9
They're not
games.
gonna go anywhere. Yeah. No, the win 8 or 9 games is gonna play all the games.
I think if either Rodgers or Richardson makes to the playoffs, they got comeback player of the year. Or
The
maybe
Vikings
Tua.
good.
Could be Tua.
Could be Tua.
49ers.
Bullish.
Cardinals.
For this year, bearish. And the future.
The Rams
Bullish.
and the Seahawks.
Bearish.
Bullish or bearish this statement, the 49ers are the best team in the league this year and last year.
Bullish.
Okay.
Best team, yeah.
Kyler Murray.
Bullish.
Wire.
Bullish until COD Double XP weekend.
Are you bullish on everyone hating on the Cardinals for seemingly no reason?
No.
You're bearish on that.
I think we should appreciate the Cardinals. They could make it.
Marvin
games.
Harrison,
Bullish.
the third.
I think I picked him to score this week.
1 reception last week for 4 yards.
Anytime this week. Marvin Harrison ride.
Moving on to the Rams, clock management. Sean McVay.
Bullish.
You're bullish on that?
Yeah. McVay's a good guy.
Why did he not call timeout?
I don't know. I didn't watch that game.
He had 3 timeouts in 11 seconds. He couldn't even
They
use the
overthink the
timeouts.
shit out of it. It's the fucking new generation of coaching where every second needs to be analytically fucking discussed.
Matt Stafford,
Bullish.
no look passing.
Next 5 years, bearish, but this year and next year.
Next 2 years.
Yeah, bullish.
No look passes.
Bullish. Everyone's gonna try and do it now.
The Seahawks. The statement is the Seahawks are boring.
Bullish. They need a new quarterback.
All right, and then lastly, dynamic kickoffs.
Bullish.
Week.
All right. Welcome to the newest episode of the Dubcast. I'm joined by 2 very esteemed guests making their first appearance on the Dubcast. Do you guys want to introduce yourself?
Cheers, Michael.
Cheers.
We got cheers. We got Cam and Mikey. Yeah, I guess they don't want to introduce themselves. So
No, we don't do that on this podcast.
We're good.
we'll start with going into week 2. So coming into this week, I was barely even on the week. This is a make or break week. My legacy was on the line. Safe to say it's still intact, but we'll go through every game. First game, Bills at Dolphins. Dolphins minus 2.5. I picked the Bills plus 2.5. Bills hammer. Tua may be dead. He should retire. What say you, Mikey? This is the one game you watched, apparently.
Yeah, one game I watched. Not great. Tua sacrificing himself for a first down that he got by like 7 yards, but what are you going to do? Helps the Jets out in the division for the rest of the year. And the passing, yes, if you're one of them. But
if you're one of them. Cam?
I think the Bills was kind of my lock of the week, honestly. That was the biggest bet I hit. I actually had crazy parlay, $10 to win $350. I had Bills to win, James Cook first touchdown, and James Cook to score 2+. And Unfortunately, that was the only bet I hit of the week, but thankfully it covered all of my losses on Sunday. So
What do you have in North Carolina? DK or FD or both or neither?
what?
FanDuel, DraftKings?
Oh, no, we have everything, yeah. I primarily use DraftKings, and then a little bit of FanDuel. I don't really touch ESPN Plus or anything, but primarily DraftKings.
ESPN Bet, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't use that at all.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had Bills money line. That saved me a lot. This was a big weekend for me with NCAA, UFC, NFL. Bills kind of put me over. Anyways, so that was that. Not really much to take away from there. Bills look really good again. Dolphins, I think, are going to be in the shitter, but we'll talk about them in a second. Going to Sunday, 1 p.m., Raiders versus Ravens. I picked the Raiders to cover 9.5. Ravens choke. Raiders win outright in this game on the road. Ravens start 0-2. Cam, your thoughts?
The Ravens actually cost me a decent amount of money this week. Didn't necessarily bet them straight up. I actually had a survivor pool going, and everybody actually bet against the Pats week 1. So I was one of 8 other people left, and I thought the Ravens was the lock of the week. Should have picked the Chargers against the hometown Panthers. But, the Ravens looked like they were in control of the game, but then just kept the Raiders in it. And then obviously the Raiders pull away at the end. But we'll eventually get into it in week 3, but I think that means that the Ravens are due. But, yeah, tough loss for me on that one.
So you had the Ravens spread or money line or what?
So our survivor pool.
Survivor pool, yeah.
Survivor pool was just for them to win, yeah.
I saw Raiders minus or plus 9.5. I was like, that's a hammer. Obviously, It's week 2. They're going to cover easily.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey, any thoughts on this game? Infamously did not watch any football this Sunday.
I actually watched the end of this game because it was on Red Zone, and
my
Brock
bad.
Bowers eating that last drive, like 4 catches in a row, finishing with, I think Devontae scored.
Yeah, I
Didn't
both
you make
understand
it, though?
which is funny.
Raiders are like 7 seed, maybe. Who knows?
I don't see it.
But the Ravens are a scary team. I feel like who knows where they're going this week. I guess we'll see our picks, but
Brock Bowers, best tight end in the league.
I mean, he kind of turned up against Mikey in fantasy this week. We haven't talked about that yet, but we can air it out on the pod, Mikey, if you want. Kind of tough ending for you.
I'm 0-2 in 2 of my leagues, so
Oh, okay.
not
All
great.
right.
Well,
next topic then.
by transitive property, I beat you week 1, Cam. So technically, I'm the best fantasy player in this call right now.
Okay, sounds good.
Sure.
All right, next game. Browns versus Jags. Browns going as 3-point underdogs on the road. Thought this would be an easy Jags hammer. This is like my favorite pick of the week, and the Jags have just let me down through 2 weeks so far. They stink. They're 0-2. Can't seem to win a close game. Any thoughts?
Trevor Lawrence getting a bag. Looking not great. What are you gonna do?
Any words for Deshaun Watson?
I
Feel
thought
bad
this
for
game
him. His dad died before the game.
Really?
motivation.
Yeah.
Motivation.
Yeah.
I think this game had trap game written all over it. I didn't touch it at all. I don't believe in either of these two teams. Honestly, I don't believe in either of them going into week 3 either, or maybe even the rest of the season. We'll see. I don't really know much about. I mean, you can bet on the Jags if you want. I mean, after losing Calvin Ridley, I mean, hopefully ETN can carry that team and Trevor Lawrence find some weapons in there. But also you have the Browns same side, Chubb out. And then you have, I mean, Jerry Jeudy, the new addition, but both him and Cooper haven't really done anything. So I don't know. I don't really trust either of these teams on the gambling front moving forward.
Yeah, I picked the Jags to make the playoffs. I picked both these teams to make the playoffs, and that's not looking good.
That's a dumbass
decision. I have faith in the Browns defense, though. I think that they can win games. AFC could be just a crapshoot. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Fair.
Next game, the New York Jets visit the Tennessee Titans. Jets 3.5-point favorites on the road. I picked the Jets as part of my 5 picks. So yeah, they ended up getting it done. Scary though. I had to put the game on my phone. Like I was watching through CBS while the Pats were in overtime. Thankfully, Will Levis was on like the 30 and just choked. But I feel like this was closer than it should be. We'll go to our residential Jets fan for your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, it didn't start out great. You gotta hate Nathaniel Hackett going run pass for the first quarter and a half, and then he finally let Aaron Rodgers throw the rock around, and then he was dealing. Defense is looking a little scary, losing Jermaine Johnson, not having Hassan Reddick. And then
what are your thoughts on Hassan Reddick as time goes on?
I think he'll be in the building on Friday after their Thursday night game.
Okay.
And he has
Good thing I'm wearing a hat because that's cap.
They have a half sort of bye this week after playing Thursday night, and then hopefully they'll get him in the building, figure something out. I mean, they have Will McDonald, 15th pick overall last year, and then that's basically it on the edge. They got Tack McKinley running it from 2018.
That's a name I've heard in like 5 years.
Couple undrafted free agents. They got to get something done. But they're getting a little injured on defense. Michael Carter's hurt. DJ Reed's hurt. So it was good that they pulled this one out going into the Pats next week. But
don't love the injury excuses already. Everyone's getting hurt.
That's true. Just like your Super Bowl loser Rams.
Yeah, well, no talk about that. Cam, you have any underlying thoughts in this game?
Yeah, I wasn't able to follow the game too closely as it was following the or same time as the Pats game. I thought the Jets would have handled this a little bit more proficiently, but I am curious on Mikey's thoughts on Aaron Rodgers and then also his primary target, Garrett Wilson. It seems like he's not really spreading the ball around too much, at least in much needed situations. I'm not exactly sure if you feel confident about that moving forward in the season, or
I do.
Okay. So you don't think that any team could double cover him and then
No, because they have Brees out of the backfield, who's basically wide receiver 2 on the team.
Mike Williams is on a snap count.
Is coming back from an ACL injury. He tore his ACL like 300 days ago, so he's
Alan Lazard.
80%.
So my question is to you:
They're gonna run the rock.
Jets team just like revives from other injury-prone players and like moves forward. I mean, like all of your players that you're banking on have had significant injuries in the past at least year, maybe 2 years. But yet that's
Aaron Rodgers
that we're relying on.
Tore his ACL in like 2011 or something. I don't even know, maybe 2010, and then he played every single game from then until 2 years ago when he broke his thumb. I don't think he missed the game, and then last year he tore his Achilles. I wouldn't say injury prone, but guys like Tyron Smith, injury prone, you could say, played like 10 games past couple of years.
That line,
I don't know. They definitely need to stay healthy, but I
just think there's a lot of question marks. Like even I was referencing more the skill positions, not so much Aaron. Like even Brees coming off an ACL, Mike Williams coming off an ACL, Alan Lazard's been there, but also like he's going to be your number 3. Garrett Wilson kind of struggled without Aaron Rodgers there. It just seems like there's a lot of
he didn't.
No, he's been struggling more with. Hasn't he not done shit?
No,
this year?
He's been good. They've just
he's
they still have to get their timing.
He just hasn't been able to score. I mean, he scored last week, but he's definitely not like a big play threat. He's just getting a lot of receptions.
They're gonna buy low on Garrett in fantasy.
That's
my take.
That was just my thoughts. I was just curious to hear from a Jets fan, but
like he's a hopeful guy.
The eternal optimist, Michael Halloran.
I mean, all right. Their defense is going to be okay. Definitely not as great as it used to be, but
they'll keep you in games.
Their offense is going to carry them.
I think the Jets make the playoffs too, so they better.
All right.
All right. Let's move on. 49ers versus go to the Vikings in Minnesota. Plus or -6. Thought this would be an easy 49ers win. I picked the 49ers. Not as part of my 5 though, but Vikings thought it'd be a revenge game since the Vikings beat them Monday night last year. Not happening. Sam Darnold is back. We'll go to our Darnold guy, Mikey.
Sam Darnold is the darn chise. That's basically all it is.
I was gonna ask what the name was for him back in the day, but
darn chise is revived and well. Basically, he's never had a receiver to throw to. His best receiver when he was on the Jets was
Quincy Enunwa.
Nah, he was hurt by then. Oh,
Jeremy
the guy
Kelly.
from Tampa Bay. I don't even remember his name. But then he went to what?
Eric Decker?
No. Then he went to Panthers, had nobody. Then he went to San Francisco and he didn't play. So Justin Jefferson, GOAT. He's probably going to play next week, hopefully. He's not too hurt, but
Addison could be coming back as well.
Yeah.
So MVP pick, Burrow might be a complete failure, but player of the year, Darnold, we're on the right track. Cam, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I honestly didn't want to touch this game at all when I looked at it, so I didn't, especially with McCaffrey out. And then, I don't know, that Vikings at home, and I also saw a little bit of, I didn't see the official stat line, but I saw that the Vikings had recent success against the 49ers at home. I just didn't – it kind of seemed like a trap game to me, so I didn't touch it. But obviously the Vikings kind of handily held that game the entire time. So thankfully I stayed away. Darnold looked very good, the darn chise, but I don't know. I'm curious to see how they hold up for the remainder of the year. I mean, it's nice when you're an underdog, you have that chip on your shoulder, but then when you're 2-0, kind of flips the script a little bit. So I'm curious to see how they respond week 3. But
I think they could stick around and be like a wild card team if things go well.
Yeah, I agree.
49ers, a little bit of trouble. C-Mac out. Debo's out now a couple of weeks. We'll see what happens. Brock Purdy, I'm a believer, but it's not looking great. Next game, Chargers head to Carolina. Chargers, 6.5-point favorites on the road. Panthers just get destroyed again. We'll go to our man who's in town in Charlotte. What's the pulse down there? How are we looking? It's a disaster.
Absolutely brutal. I mean, if you thought it was bad after week 1, imagine it times 10 now.
Are there actually fans?
Yeah, I actually have a few coworkers. One sits right beside me who's lived in Charlotte his entire life and been a day one Bryce Young supporter. Very similar to me with Mac Jones, kind of like ride or die. But he's definitely on the die side now. After 18 games getting benched,
Bad.
he wants zero part of Bryce Young. And if you're in a survivor pool and if you're not picking any other team other than the team that's playing at Panthers, you're a fucking moron. Actually, like that cost me an absurd like that. Every team, the only teams that are left in my survivor pool are the ones that picked the Chargers last week, and everybody else picked the Ravens. So, phone's a little
He's
bit.
still pissed.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't tell, I'm a little heated by the situation after losing that survivor pool. But no, I should have known Chargers, easy walk away. The Panthers' temperature is definitely getting hot around not just Bryce Young, but also front office. They kind of need something to happen quick. Like Tepper's not going to let the new head coach and then Dan Morgan, the GM, just kind of sit around and maybe pick their next first-round quarterback and then have that guy be a bust. Like, I don't know. They're either tanking for Ewers. A lot of people don't even want to draft a quarterback. This whole team overall is just so bad. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, if you touch the Panthers in any way on an over in any category, whether it be player, points, spread, just don't. It's not worth it. Andy Dalton's not going to do anything for you. But I digress. I'll pass it over to Mikey if he has any thoughts to add to that.
Not really. Looking back at the Bryce Young trade, horrible.
Yeah.
Atrocious.
Terrifying, actually. Yeah.
Like maybe
definition of trade
worst
rate
trade
for those that have
in-
ever seen the league. Definition of trade rate. But, yeah.
I mean, I'm a Bryce Young guy.
Same. I have a rant to go on, but I'm gonna save it for week 3.
Okay.
About the Panthers. Yeah, I picked Chargers. That was easy.
Yep.
Let's move to Seattle, New England. So Patriots 3.5-point underdogs at home. Coming off last week, the surprise win over the Bengals. They cover the spread in overtime, covering 3.5 barely. I picked the Patriots to cover. Wasn't easy, but I'll start here. Passing, I think, is on the brink of destruction. They can't keep throwing for like 120 yards a game. I think they had 3 receptions to wide receivers. Yes, Ramondre has been really good. Give him the ball. Antonio Gibson looked really good last game, but Hunter Henry even looked good. But I think time is ticking before May gets in the game. I think people, someone in my office today was talking about for week 6 versus the 49ers. That seems like a good time. We can go to Drake May, and I am a sit the quarterback guy, but it's like Brissett is just not, I mean, I'd be fine if May sits for like the whole year, but I feel like we're gonna need some excitement soon. What say you, Cam? Also Patriots fan.
Yeah, no, diehard Patriots fan. I honestly couldn't agree with you more. Granted, I definitely didn't expect Jacoby and the offense to even move the ball this well. I mean, they scored 20 points in week 2. And
Yeah.
I know I haven't been on this podcast before, but week 1 kind of seemed like a lock with Jamar Chase not being in training camp, T. Higgins out. You lose Joe Mixon and Tyler Boyd, your other 2 best options at offense. I mean, plus 9.5. Just seemed like an absolute lock to me. Ended up being one of the biggest payouts I had week 1, which covered a lot of my losses in week 2. But week 2, I kind of felt the same way with Kenneth Walker out. I feel like they consistently are getting, not bailed out, that might be not that great of a term, but they're getting lucky with a lot of the injuries to the teams that they're playing. And also, I do think that their defense is going to keep them in games, but then it also, like, they're a very run-heavy team. So if they get down early, it could become a shit show if you have Jacoby Brissett throwing the ball 40 times. Thankfully, they haven't had to do that yet. I do think, like kind of Dub mentioned, it's inevitable that it gets to a point where Jacoby can't do that, and then you have to throw Drake in. Also on the same pace as Dub, where I don't really want Drake to play right now, but I mean, also would be a very much more entertaining football team. But I don't know. I think the Patriots are going to surprise some people. I think if they haven't already. I kind of digress on that, but I mean, their defense is going to keep them in games, I think, throughout the entire year.
Yeah. Well, that was what I was thinking too, and I forgot what I was going to say. Oh. Where's Demario Douglas, bro? Like, this is supposed to be the guy. I mean, he's a 6th-round pick, granted, but it's like he's not even getting the ball at all. So, interested to see who ends up stepping up out of that wide receiver room, if anybody.
Polk looked good. I don't know.
Yeah.
Polk. And then also, I'm a big Hunter Henry guy. I mean, he had a massive day, obviously, but I think this Patriots team could also be kind of obviously very different. But when it comes to targets, I think it'd be like an old school Patriots team where it's like you have no idea who's going to get the ball the majority of the time. I mean, Polk had a touchdown. Hunter Henry had 10 receptions after having, like 2 week 1, if that.
Yeah.
So I think it could be anybody any given day.
Hoopers look good.
Agreed. Yeah.
Okay. Mikey, I know you weren't watching this window, so anything to add?
I was just gonna ask what you guys thought. What week? 6.5.
I love the over. I'd like it to be week 12 as much time as possible. This O-line is shit, bro.
It seems like throwing Drake May in against the 49ers would be a bad idea.
No, I'm saying after. That's the week after. Yeah, that's when you put him in.
Yeah.
I will say for Jacoby.
Dude, they caught a lot of shit going into the season and in preseason. They looked fucking terrible. Every preseason game, they looked terrible trying to figure it out. But for the past 2 weeks, they kept Jacoby pretty much straight up. Granted, he's made a few plays outside the pocket, but I was expecting a lot worse. That from my perspective, but
yeah. The one thing I will give to Jacoby is he's actually really good, moving in the pocket. Apparently the Seahawks have this guy that's insane off the edge that I've never heard of before, and he was able to dodge him a couple of times. So that's good. I don't want Drake May back there getting killed like Caleb Williams and Bo Nix. So yeah. Enough about this game.
I have
one more thing.
Who do you think has the second best touchdown to interception ratio in NFL history?
Aaron Rodgers, Jacoby
Brissett. Yep.
Is there a minimum point during that or no?
I don't know. Maybe not. But I mean, if you're a team that's gonna run the ball and not turn it over,
he doesn't make
you're gonna be in a lot of games. And if your defense is making plays, getting a couple turnovers, you're not turning the ball over, you're going to be in a lot of games. A lot of close games.
Agreed. Kind of what Justin Fields is doing. I don't know if we're going to segue into that game next, but I'll hand it over to our host, Duddy.
That game's at 4 o'clock. We still have a lot of games to go. Still in the 1 p.m. window. Saints head to Dallas. 6.5 point underdogs after a strong week win over the Panthers. I think a lot of people thought, this was a fake win because it's the Panthers. They're the worst team in the NFL. Turns out maybe the Saints are the best team in the NFL. They win outright, 6.5 point underdogs, go into Jerry World and win. This was a crazy game. Kamara, 4 touchdowns. Yeah, I don't know. This seems like an odd one for the Cowboys, like a classic Cowboys shit the bed, week 2 when they had that strong week 1 performance. Got to bring them back to earth in some way.
Home too.
So yeah, it's
home
classic.
Opener getting smacked.
Jerry World means nothing.
I was going to say, I'm not surprised by this at all. I just stayed away from this game gambling wise. I don't like betting the Cowboys at all. Even when they are expected to win, they'll win, and then sometimes they're expected. I mean, a couple of people in my survivor pool had the Cowboys beating this team week 2, and didn't make any sense to me. But of course, I mean, they find a way to blow it. So I'm not surprised by this at all. But
yeah, I should mention I picked the Cowboys this week. I picked against them last week when they were playing the Browns. It's every time I'm going to get it wrong. Saints, I did think we're going to be better this year, though. I didn't think they're going to be this good. Do you guys think
it's also early? We don't really know that.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think this is an insanity run, or do you think it's legit?
Nah, this is not a consistent team that you can bank on. New Orleans has never been a consistent team, especially without Drew Brees. I mean, we'll get into it on our week 3 picks, but I mean, I can't imagine the team keeping it up.
We'll move to probably the game on paper that was between the worst 2 teams in week 2. Giants head to Washington. Commanders -1.5. Commanders I put on the card. That was one of my 2 wins. Danny Dimes looked better. Jaden Daniels looks good. Commanders don't score a touchdown, though, but Jaden Daniels is probably leading the clubhouse in best rookie quarterback so far. Any thoughts on this one? Kind of a shitter. Kind of a good game, though.
It was a stupid game for the Giants. They went into the game with no kicker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I missed that whole thing for some reason.
Daniel Jones, 2 touchdowns, 178 yards, 100 quarterback rating. That's
Malik Neighbors
looked really good. Gonna get for him.
Malik did look good.
Singletary scored a touchdown.
I mean, Jaden Daniels has looked like the best rookie quarterback this year. Caleb's looked scared. Bo Nix is just not good. I mean,
Drake May hasn't played yet, so obviously.
JJ McCarthy, Penix haven't played.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, I kind of had the skins on this from the get go.
It's the Commanders.
Nah, I'm calling it in my book actually. No, I had the skins from. I was just kind of upset. I had Gene Daniels score a touchdown. That really messed up one of my touchdown parlays, which I'll get into one of my week 3 picks eventually later. But Jane Daniels scored a touchdown. And I'm not sure if you guys followed the game. I think it was either their first or second drive. It was a 4th and 1 inside the 10. Basically trying to get first down, if not to score. It looked like it was a timed run for Jaden on a bootleg, but then someone started off on false start, and then from there I didn't get anything going. So I think Jaden and the offense could have scored a touchdown. It's just I think they do have a lot to work on as a team, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Granted, they didn't play a great competitor in the Giants, but I mean, they stepped up when they needed to, and they got a big win, especially in the NFC East.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be anywhere near the playoffs. That defense is kind of sus as well.
They got some players out there.
I don't
They
know.
didn't look good against the Bucks week 1.
Sketch. I think that whole NFC conference is kind of sketch, but we'll see.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The first 2 weeks.
Well, let's talk about matchup between 2 premier NFC teams that we saw still in the 1 o'clock window, this was the dumbest thing ever. They had 10 1 o'clock games and 3 at 4. The Bucks head to Detroit for a rematch of the divisional last year. Bucks 7-point underdogs on the road. I picked the Bucks. Thought this would be an easier cover spot. Turns out they went outright. I missed the end of this one due to watching the Patriots, but Amon-Ra seemed like he was kind of in and out of the game. Like Jared Goff didn't play his best, but Bucks have looked really good. So takeaways on this one.
I'm honestly just kind of surprised that Detroit didn't go with the ground and pound game that they did in week 1. They definitely were trying to air the ball out a lot more, which, I mean, when you have 2 premier running backs like Montgomery and Gibbs that they featured a lot in the previous season and in week 1, to get away from that against a Buccaneers team that, granted, they did make the playoffs, and I feel like kind of now after week 2 have proven themselves as a team to hold their own in the NFC. I would have thought that they would have tried to bully them a little bit more and get to their own style of play, but I don't know. I think that was a good NFC matchup. I think it's early on in the season. Maybe Detroit might have overthought it and didn't want to show them everything, maybe. But I don't know. I thought it was a good, hard-fought game, especially at Detroit. I think the Bucs did a good one on the road. Baker gets a little confidence for the rest of the year. But, I mean, that was probably one of the better games in the 1 o'clock slot for my opinion.
Yeah. It seems like the Lions always have these games where they're, like, super close, and sometimes they just lose them.
Yeah.
Mikey, any spare thoughts on this one? Baker?
Not really. I just like Baker. He's like who Johnny Football was supposed to be in the NFL.
Yeah.
True.
Fair.
All right. Last game of the 1 o'clock window. This was my biggest trap game. Colts at Packers, +3. Packers +3 at home. Turns out Anthony Richardson is just so like bipolar. They lose. Malik Willis gets a win, which is like the craziest sentence to say. Packers win outright. This was my second biggest lock on the board, so both my biggest locks lose. I didn't see week 1, it was kind of easy. It was like, all right, here's the picks, and that's it, because it's like week 1, the Vegas doesn't know what they're doing. Week 2, Vegas threw some fucking traps out there, and I fell for a couple of them. This was bad.
Week 1's a liar, Dub. You gotta know.
I know.
That. Week 1's a liar.
I love the Packers that week. That was my only other bet that I hit was, I mean, that Bills that we started off with, but this is the only other bet that I hit. I mean, I love the Packers, especially against that. I'm not a Colts guy. I'm not fully bought in on Anthony Richardson. I just feel like they're too inconsistent of a team. They haven't really proved anything to me yet. And until they do so, I think I'm going to bet against them until the wheels fall off. But, I mean, even with Malik Willis in there, I think he held his own. Josh Jacobs is a good new addition to that squad. Their wide receiver core might be young, but they got a lot of weapons on there.
They got 4 good guys, yeah.
Yeah, maybe not a stud, but they got a decent amount of either 2s and maybe even some 3s, but still, I think they're a team to be reckoned with, especially if Jordan Love takes his time, gets healthy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll go to week 3 in a second, but I like that Packers team a lot, especially against that Colts in the past.
I like them with Jordan Love. I don't like them with Malik Willis.
Okay,
Colts, I learned my lesson this week. I picked them. I didn't bet it week 1 to cover against the Texans. That was a good game, but that was at the Colts, so maybe home
Yeah.
field advantage thing there.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the 4 o'clock window. Mikey, were you able to watch one of these 4 o'clock games, or same thing, kind of?
I watched the end of the Pittsburgh game.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, some of these were two of these games were really good. One of these games was not good. We'll start with the not good game. Rams at Cardinals -1.5. Another trap I fell for. I had the Rams. I picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl in my fun version. I placed the bet on them to go to the playoffs, boosted. Looks like that's off the rails because they're just going to go back to 2 years ago where everyone's hurt again. Puka's out, Cup's out, a bunch of pieces on defense are out.
Just
Not
4
good.
weeks for both of them, right?
Well, at least.
Yeah.
I don't think Cup's on IR, so maybe less for Cup, but Puka's on IR.
He might have gone on today, I think. I don't know.
Sad. Yeah, I mean, I love Matt Stafford. I want them to be good. I like the Rams when they're good. I like McVay, but it's like when you just have injuries, it's like, I don't know, maybe they need a better training staff. I don't know what.
I mean, I think
remedies
Marvin was a little scared week 1 after seeing what Madden did to him. Came out in week 2.
What? Wait, what? What did Madden do to him?
You haven't seen that photo? Come on.
No, I don't play Madden.
Nah, well, you might need to go keep it. They made his lips look a little outrageous. But anyways, he came back week 2, and I should have placed Marvin Harrison to have the game of his life in week 2. I had him on both my fantasy teams, absolutely teared it up. I wasn't expecting the Cardinals to dominate the way that they did. I mean, I know that you just talked about the injuries on the Rams side, but I stayed away from this game betting-wise, but I don't even know if I would have taken a side on that. But I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah, look at that. What are we even doing? Yeah, you already knew. What are we talking about?
I didn't know. I just looked it up.
Oh, yeah, you just had a nice little.
No, I just looked it up on Twitter.
You fucking super conveniently. Oh, okay.
Look at Twitter search.
Oh, that's upside down. All right. Anyways,
I can't show it because my screen's at the bottom.
He bounced back week 2, and hope we can continue that for the rest of the season. Since he's on both my fantasy teams, but I don't know. I kind of like Marvin Harrison in this Cardinals team. I think they're also going to be a very inconsistent team. They kind of remind me a little bit of the Saints, honestly, where they can be high scoring some weeks, and then you can also see them scoring a doozy and maybe 3 to 7 points a week. So
yeah,
we'll see how they go moving forward.
Cardinals, I think, are going to be fun. I took Marvin anytime. I figured he was due this week. Yeah. Only one catch last week. I also took Cook anytime, H.N. anytime, Devonta anytime. Jonathan Taylor was my only miss on any times, but I hate picking them. I only do them because DraftKings gives free. What?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
I like the Cardinals, though. It's going to be fun to watch them. Turns out they may have the best loss in the NFL against the Bills. Like, that was really close. Yeah. Almost won that game. Rams.
They kind of handled that game a little bit, too, in the first half at least.
Rams, I think you got to recuperate, figure something out, and then hope that in, like, a couple weeks when everyone comes back, they can make a run at the end. I haven't looked at their schedule or anything, but for now, I'm not calling them dead yet, but it's not looking great. 0-2. They have a tough game this week as well, so I don't know. We'll move on. Steelers go to the Broncos. Steelers -3. I picked the Steelers, bet it as part of a parlay with Bucks +7, so cashed out on that one. Steelers win this one and covered. Sean Payton made some dumbass moves at the end. He's a fraud. Bo Nix. I just don't. I think
Bo Nix already after week 2.
I'm not out on him. It's like, why do we start like? You have Jarrett Stidham, you have Zach Wilson. Not Zach Wilson, start Stidham. It's like, why do we have to throw these QBs in the fire? And there's that old clip I saw of Brady today, or not, it was like from recently. He's like, you got to sit the quarterbacks. Yeah. Because he sat like at Michigan 3 years and became the starter, then he was ready. Like he sat in his rookie year most of the season, then came out against like the Bills or whatever and got fucked. Like it's part of it, but it's like Bo Nix, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess Bo Nix is like 25, so it's different. But I don't know. I don't think Bo Nix is going to be good. But I could see like a world where he becomes like somewhat version of like Breeze, where he's like really good at like checkdowns and stuff. But I don't know. As of right now, I don't really see this Broncos team going anywhere. They don't have weapons on offense. I mean, Javonte needs to bounce back this year.
We got Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, he's like the definition of like mid.
Yeah, perennial number 2 wide receiver.
It's like Greg Dulcich.
Oh my god! It's like name a mid wide receiver. It's like, oh, Cortland Sutton. There you go.
See, I can understand both sides of where you want to start a backup, like a perennial like backup in order to ease Bo Nix
Well,
in. But
It's Jacoby Brissett. That's exactly what they should have done.
Stidham
They
can
should've-
actually play. Like
They should have picked up.
I don't think
Ryan
Stidham's at the
Tannehill
same
or
level as
something.
Jacoby. But I mean, even that we're talking about this right now, though, I mean, they lost by a touchdown. Like they were in the game the entire
They
time.
weren't.
Yeah.
in the game.
But that's the Steelers like not having an offense because Justin
Yeah.
Fields just like does just
It
enough
was
to win.
13,
Fair, but
13-0, I think, and then they got 2 field goals late.
The
Okay.
Steelers have an amazing defense. They might have the best player just overall in the league, TJ Watt, but it's like
agreed.
I don't think I think the Steelers should go back to Russ as soon as they can. I think Fields is well, let me explain. So Russ, if you start Russ now,
We're not gonna fucking get to week 3 at this point if we.
all right, fine. I'll save it. Anything else, Mikey? The one game you watched at 4:00.
Bo Nix is terrible. Their whole offensive line's terrible. Greg Dulcich dropped like 2 in his hands passes in the fourth quarter. They're just not good. Can't stop anything on defense except for Justin Fields. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I agree with all that. All right, last game, controversial game. Bengals go to the Arrowhead. I wanted the Bengals to win this game. I chose the Chiefs to cover. They did not. Ended up coming down to a game-winning field goal. Burrowhead doesn't last. Get a nice flag there. Seems like the Chiefs are just becoming the Patriots. I mean, it was pass interference, so I'm not going to whatever. I just think the Chiefs are inevitable. 2-0 start. Bengals seem like the one team that could be the team to beat them, but I don't know. I'm ready for the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl again this year. What say you?
Mike, you want to start?
I don't like the Chiefs. I think they're definitely easily the best team in the league. It's really annoying too because they have Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy who just run straight, according to Cam Taylor-Britt. Is that who said it? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Hollywood
out for the year.
Hollywood's out for the year. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has the most interceptions called back on penalties in the league since he's been in the league. And their defense is nasty. I mean, there's nothing you can really say about it.
Yeah.
They got 12 guys on offense, though.
I mean, I thought.
It took me a second.
I mean, I think the Bengals team is probably going to be. I don't know what it is, but that Joe Burrow just flips on a switch whenever he plays Patty and the Chiefs. I thought that was a trap game. I didn't touch it. One of my buddies here actually hit. I mean, he likes to sprinkle everything around, but he had a 1 field goal and touchdown per team each half, and
Like,
didn't
what
even
the
know,
fuck?
didn't even know about it. He woke up on Sunday morning in his FanDuel account with $250 in there. He thought he was broke as fuck, but thankfully he hit that. I mean, I don't know. I didn't touch that game because it made me a little nervous. I'm curious to see what this team's going to look like when T. Higgins returns. I think it might be even worse, honestly, just seeing how there's zero chemistry. They've had zero work together.
Dude, this happens every year. They're going to be fine.
You think so? I mean,
they're playing a third-place
now.
schedule.
What's fine? Like
wild card.
They've had that 1 Super Bowl run. Like, are they comfortable with being a 1, maybe 2 and done team in the playoffs? Like, is that fine for them?
Well, what would you change, Zach Taylor?
No, I'm not saying that. I think you either got to extend T or you got to figure something out team wise. Like, you can't just string T along and then have your defense not like they still have to extend Trey Hendrickson, if that too. Like they have to find
animal.
Like they have to figure out. Like it doesn't seem like they have a plan at all for replacements. Like I don't know. It just seems like this Bengals team doesn't really have a plan in place to move forward. Other than outside of Jamar Chase, hopefully, and Joe Burrow. But
the Bengals will be in the playoffs.
I don't know, Deb.
Look at their division. Browns.
I don't disagree with you, but I just think should that team be a one and done team when you have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins all on the same
Well,
team?
I think Joe Burrow's a fraud. Like I really do. I don't know if he's even top 5.
Didn't you
once he dyed his hair fucking blonde, I kind of lost him. But
yeah, the graphics look so stupid when he goes blonde. Yeah, I did pick him to win MVP, and that's looking stupid right now. I thought, might as well spice it up. It's going to be like between 5 guys. It's always like the best 5 quarterbacks. But I don't know. I don't even know who's
Ramondre?
MVP. Who's MVP right now? Like Baker? Like, come on now, that's not happening.
Ramondre. Carrying the pass right now.
Sam Darnold.
All
I
right.
don't mind the Georgia.
Our last Sunday night game, Chicago heads to Houston, 7-point underdogs on the road. Bears
Tough
are able to
spread.
cover. Bears are able to cover here, but the Texans do win. Just a low-scoring game, defensive battle. I didn't like how that guy would hit Caleb. Did you guys see that? Like,
It just
unnecessary
seemed.
roughness?
Yeah,
was
I
fucked
saw that a
up.
little bit.
Out of bounds?
Yeah.
The out of bounds one?
Yeah.
It was like a barely two-hand touch.
I was ready to
Same
like,
thing happened to Patrick Mahomes week 1. They like two-hand touches him out of bounds and they don't call it. I mean,
I
I'm
think
fine with
Caleb.
that not being a penalty.
I think
You
Caleb's
definitely don't like him.
I was just gonna say, I think Caleb has a bigger head on his shoulders than what actually is reality. Like he thinks he's already the next coming of Patrick Mahomes. Like,
He is.
let's take it down. Like you haven't thrown a fucking touchdown pass yet, buddy. Like, how about we take a breath? You want to own part of an NFL team. Granted, I mean the Bears have had one of their better starts in the past 10 years, but granted, the Bears have been dog shit for the past 10 years. Like it's not much of a higher standard to exceed, but I don't know. I just think Caleb, at least this year, isn't built for this offense. I think they need an upgraded O-line and the running game. Granted, they went out and diagnosed weapons with both Keenan Allen and Ramona Dunze, but I just don't think that team's ready for that yet.
Did you say Ramona Dunze?
No, Roma Dunze. Come on.
Sorry, I misheard. Yeah, the chemistry looks off.
I mean, Keenan not playing was not ideal for them.
Yeah.
Fair.
They
But
also
I mean,
couldn't
that's
run the
the
ball.
definition of Keenan Allen, though. Like, if you sign Keenan Allen, you know he's going to play maybe half the season if you're lucky. Like,
well, the chemistry with DJ Moore looked like shit too. He was like pissed.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I signed up for DraftKings this summer, I had 6 bonus bets, and one of them was Caleb Williams Rookie of the Year. I may hedge that with Jaden, like this week.
You mean Drake?
Drake's not gonna have enough games, even if he's like amazing.
He's coming in. Jacoby's gonna get hurt week 4. Trust me, it's already coming in. I got future bets coming on.
You got sources, all right.
I got
As for the Texans,
in my back pocket.
Texans, I thought would take a fall off, but it seems like they're getting it done like when they need to. So I'm looking forward to that. Seeing if they can make a Super Bowl run this year to Stroud. Hoping they do. I like Stroud.
I'm not a big fan of Diggs. I don't know.
I hate Diggs, but it's like he already was yelling at Stroud. It's only a matter of time before he blows up. He's probably not gonna be in the Texans next year. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Last game just happened last night for us when we're recording this. Falcons, Eagles. Falcons go on the road, 6.5-point underdogs. They went outright, and what a drive by Kirk. Last 2-minute drill, last 1-minute drill. I knew that the Falcons would eventually get it together. I thought that they'd lose this game. I did pick the Eagles minus 6.5. I didn't bet it, but I did think the Falcons would cover the spread this game. I mean, the Eagles would cover the spread and win. They were close, but not really. They weren't really going to cover. Saquon, big drop. Giants fans were all over that one today. Did you guys watch this one, and what were your thoughts?
You got a mic?
All you.
Well, I watched the first half, and then I kind of sprinkled in and out into the second. But I had Devontae first touchdown score, kind of a similar situation with James Cook. I had him first touchdown and to score 2 with the Eagles to win. Unfortunately, he didn't score the second time. The Eagles obviously lost. It just seemed like Kirk moved up and down the field on that 2-minute, not even 2-minute drive, very easily. Like it kind of seemed like practice for him. Like there was way too much open coverage. I get that how you want to run the clock, but I mean, even the majority of the completions, they were able to get out of bounds. I don't know. It just seemed like it was way too easy. This Eagles team I'm not fully bought in on, which I'm sure will reflect in the week 3 picks, but I'm also not a big Jalen Hurts guy either. I don't know.
Me neither.
But Kirk looked a little bit more comfortable than he did in week 1. I know in week 1 he got a lot of slack for not looking, himself and being able to move around the pocket, if not outside the pocket. But I don't know. I mean, I think they looked relatively well. They won the game. I mean, he made it count when it counted. So, I mean, other than that, what else more can you ask for on a Monday night, which is typically a low-scoring game anyway?
Yeah. I think when you get like a veteran quarterback on a new team, like there's fits at the beginning. We saw Stafford, Brady struggled early, but I think if they could get it together, I like the Falcons. I picked them to make the playoffs. So I think they're
Especially in
some of
that
them.
division too.
Yeah, well, the division looks good now. Saints, Bucks. We'll see. Okay, finally we made it to this week 2 recap. Some good thoughts all around. So quickly picking the games, all the games straight up. My record going into week 3 were 16, 15, and 1. One push. So just over 500. Legacy week on the line. Focus 5 did not do well last week. We're 5, 4, and 1. So just one over 500 for both. Hopefully we'll get some wins this week. And yeah, so big game Thursday night as we head to week 3. We have the Patriots, me and Cam's team, heading to the Jets, Michael's team. As we see the helmet. So you just wear a signed
Matt Jones signed helmet right there.
You wear a signed helmet? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna turn into an ashtray eventually, seeing how Mac Jones is no longer plays in the squad. But hey, I mean, I'll let Mikey go first, but this Pats team's dangerous. This Pats team is dangerous.
I don't have the Jets covering 6.5. I do have them winning though. I think it's a field goal game, like 2017, maybe 24-21. I think the Jets do pull it out. I think it's a one-score game in the fourth. I don't know. I think the Patriots just won't be able to move the ball. I think the Jets will stack the box. I think they'll have 8 people in the box the entire game. Leave Sauce and DJ Reed if he plays on an island out there. Make Jacoby beat him over the top, and maybe they will once in the game. Maybe. I think the Jets will try and run the ball, which they haven't really been able to do in the first 2 weeks, but I don't know. Patriots seem like they have big play opportunities against them on defense. DK with a big touchdown last week, but yeah.
So you got Pats plus 6.5. Cam, your pick?
I'll keep my spread pick for now. This is probably obviously my favorite game of the week. Try not to be biased, but the Pats plus 6.5 is my pick. But I mean, if you're not teasing this at plus 7.5, I mean, I don't know. So the Thursday night games, did a little bit of research. Thursday night games are 1-1 when it comes to the road team against the spread. And the only reason why the road team was 1-1 was because that likely touchdown, which would have been a touchdown if his fucking pinky toe wasn't as big as it was, would have been 2-0 against the spread. I also think the Pats-Jets lineup is also a typically low-scoring game, which we'll get into later. I think in a low-scoring game, the Pats find themselves in a favorable matchup as opposed to the Jets where they would probably prefer to score more. I think the Patriots can slow this game down. I think they keep it within 7, hence my plus 6.5. Obviously, I am a little biased, but, I mean, take that with a grain of salt. I think the Patriots win this game outright, honestly. I can't really see the Jets doing too much.
Interesting.
I mean, the Jets will always be the Jets. It's just football. They'll find a way. But I'll pass it over to the host, Stubby.
So I will be I'll be going against the grain. I'm taking the Jets minus 6.5.
What a dick, dude. Come on.
I'm sorry.
One time.
I picked the Patriots the first 2 weeks, but eventually it's going to run out. I think this is the week. I think Rodgers, this is the first game at home. So, you know, he's going to come out to that New York welcome. I think the Pats are in for a rough time. I see them losing by a touchdown or 2 at least. Offensively, they have no one to keep up with the Jets on offense. If Breece Hall gets it going, if Ramondre gets it going, it could be equal there. Both good defenses. I don't know. I'm not seeing the vision for the Pats to go to New York and win. I think the Jets will get they need to get this demon out of being the Patriots. And this is like, if the Jets lose, like every game for the Jets is like, if they lose, there's like a lot of panic, like especially to a team like the Pats. So I think the Jets, in order for them to be clocked in and do what they need to do, they win this game and they would do it by 7 to 14 points. I don't know. I like the Jets in this game. I'm probably not going to bet it because it's just Thursday night, like bad vibes, but I'll probably make some sort of fucked up parlay due to FanDuel boost. But I don't know. I like the Jets.
7.5, the under, and Ramondre score touchdown. That's your 50% parlay boost on FanDuel.
I guarantee like none of those will hit. Maybe the under.
I don't know. I think Ramondre will have a good game. Jets' interior defensive line is not stout. You can run up the gut on him. CJ Mosley might not play, so that's another run defender out of the way. He might have a big toe injury.
Yeah, so he'll play. Pat's
No.
Jawan Bentley's out for the year. Nope.
Yeah.
That fucking
I like McMillan coming in. McMillan.
don't even know his name.
No, McMillan.
Neither of those.
It's a nickname, McMillan.
Neither of those guys have good pass coverage. Anthony is terrible in pass coverage. Raekwon
I don't need him
McMillan
to fucking cover the pass.
hasn't played in like 2 years.
I mean, last time Aaron Rodgers was at home, what happened, Mikey?
I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
It's not going to happen.
He doesn't like New York. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
I'm going against the crowd here.
What happened at the end of that game? The Jets won. There you go.
What's the over-under on Aaron Rodgers getting hurt then?
5.5 weeks.
All right.
We
get on next one?
Yeah. All right. So I have Jets. You guys have Pats. By the way, I'm going to write down all your picks or just send them to me so we can keep track. We can come back for record's sake. Next game, Giants head to Cleveland. Browns 6.5 point favorites. I'll start it off this time. I think this is a Browns hammer. Defense, I think, is going to eat Danny Jones alive in Cleveland. I don't know. I'm going to probably bet against the Giants as much as possible. I don't think they're good at all. I think the writing's on the wall. Daniel Jones is going to be out of New York next year or this year. Potentially Dable, potentially the GM. Browns, yes, it wasn't great week 1, but they figured some things out last week on defense, and if that defense just plays to its ability, they're going to beat up on shitty teams like the Giants. So we'll go in reverse order. So, Cam, your pick for this game.
I'm on the opposite side. I think this is a get-back game for New York. I think it's a trap game. I don't like the Browns at all, especially at home, especially going with false confidence after a Jags win. I think Malik scores 2. I got the Giants +6, but if you want to sprinkle Malik Neighbors 2 touchdowns, this might be his coming out party, but that's just my perspective.
Yeah, he didn't have 10 catches, 127 yards, and a touchdown last week.
Nah, we need multiple touchdowns for a coming out party. We can't just have one.
Fair enough.
I'm also Giants +6.5. I think this game is like 7-10, 13-10, something like that. Something gross.
14-0.
Let me
This is going to be a snow game with no snow. They're going to run the ball every single time. It's going to be terrible. I don't want to watch it.
Let me lay the vision for you. 21-13 Browns.
Can't see it.
Yo, Mikey, did you fucking ask? Because I don't remember asking.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper, 3 touchdowns on Deontay Banks' head. This is an easy Browns for me. I guess we're just all – you guys are on the same wavelength, and I'm on a different one. I don't know. We'll see who's sharp or square.
What do you think, chat? What do you think, chat?
Yeah, let us know. I'm trying to – I don't know. I feel like I picked too many favorites. I probably did it again this week, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so we'll move to next game. Chicago heads to Indianapolis. This game is fucking horrible. I'm not touching anything in this game, but the Colts are favored 1.5. Mikey, we'll start with you this time.
I got Colts +2. Well, you have 1.5, but I got +2.
Well, I'm seeing Colts -1.5, but you saw them plus.
Oh no, Colts -2. Sorry.
All right.
No. I just don't like the Bears. Like their offense should be so much better than it is. Caleb, I watched the second half of that game 2 days ago. He did not look comfortable at all. Colts defense is going to get after him. DeForest Buckner maybe still there. Quiddy Pay.
No, he just got put on IR actually. Buckner. But
right.
Yeah.
That's a Rhode Island guy too.
Yeah.
Not Quiddy. DeForest got put on IR, not Quiddy.
Oh.
All right, well, good for Quiddy. Quiddy's time.
I don't know. I want to believe in Anthony Richardson, so I'm gonna pick the Colts.
I got some asshole coworker that's a big Bears fan, which really makes me want to pick the Colts. But like I said, I haven't seen anything that makes me want to believe in them at all. I mean, granted, they held the Texans to a close game at home. I think this Bears team can figure it out. I mean, I like it plus points too. If you get it at +2, that's nice. I would probably tease it to +3 if I was you, but for this sake of the conversation, I'll do the +1.5 for the Bears. I also love the under in this game. I don't think there's a lot of points scored. I don't think the Bears or the Colts score that many points, but I mean that's my take.
Yeah, so I'm on the Colts -1.5. Don't love it at all. As I mentioned before, I think this game's ugly as shit. I think it could be low scoring. It could also just be like a random, like high scoring game. So I just don't want anything to do with this game. If I had to pick a side, I'll take the home team, Colts. Give me a 1.5 at home. I think coming off last week, this could be like a reverse trap game where the Colts look really good today after shitting the bed against the Packers. They didn't keep up with the Texans, who look like a Super Bowl contender. So I don't know. Bears, I think, will be good, but it's going to take some time. Need to figure out the offensive line. I think Caleb could take a step in this game, look better. I'm waiting for it. I think he's going to be really good, but I don't know. This isn't the right spot for him on the road week 3. I haven't looked at their schedule either, but I'm hoping there are better things for him down the road. But yeah, I'll take the Colts.
This could be like a 5 turnover game. Easily.
Yeah.
True.
A lot of sacks.
I was going to say, if you want to take a parlay of fucking 2 picks from Anthony Richardson and Caleb Williams.
Definitely.
Dude, why is it always 2+?
I actually might change that to one of my 5 picks, but
what about fumbles? Because they both like to move around in the pocket.
I don't know. I'm feeling like a more Will Levis vibe, where they just like kind of toss it to the other team and just like, oh, cool, toss it back.
Yeah.
All right, I don't even know what that means, but
Will Levis fumble?
Yeah, you didn't see that play, bro?
I saw it, but whatever. All right, we'll head to Minnesota.
Head to Minnesota.
For a hand clap for W, the host of the pod. Absolutely crushing it.
Thanks, man. We'll head to Minnesota. Texans on the road visit the Vikings, hot 2-0 team. This should be a really good game. Texans are favored by 2.5. My pick for this one, Texans. Give me the Texans -2.5 on the road.
My boy Mike, I love it.
I'm met by shaking of heads. This is a reverse logic game. They want you to take the Vikings. All the squares are going to be taking the Vikings, bro. Texans, logical pick. They're the better team. The Darnold things, they're not going to be 3-0, bro. Come on. This is a simple math. They've just beat the 49ers. It's like, oh, holy shit, the Vikings are good, and they're 2.5 point are underdogs at home. Of course, hammer the Vikings, money line, spread, everything. I bet like 85% of the money line will be on the Vikings. Take the Texans, bro. I'm telling you right now. 2.5. Give me Stroud by a field goal.
Like you, Dubby. I don't know about what your thoughts are, Mike. But...
Well, I get so in my head because it's like I try and reverse like the square thought, but then that's like the news like sharp thought. So it's like that's square now. So it's like so hard to think, but I'm just providing logic. It's fucking like it's the gif of that.
It's big brain.
Yeah.
The big braining. I don't know.
I get you in my head.
I think the Vikings are a good football team. Just overall, their defense is like okay to decent. And Justin Jefferson is a dog. Sam Darnold's best receiver ever in his career. And at home underdogs, I like it.
I love the home dog too. I would take the Vikings +2.5, but if I'm gambling on it, I'd probably tease it to +3.5, by a point there. But yeah, I mean,
the Vikings are this fucking crazy team. You wouldn't just take their money line?
No. I thought we were trying to make our viewers money, Dub. I'm not trying to do outlandish shit. Come on.
All right, I can get behind that, but I don't know. I think so. I'm just on a fucking different planet, I guess. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see next week.
Yeah, one of our records is going to look really bad, and hopefully it's not me, the host of this podcast. All right. Another big game. Philadelphia heads to New Orleans. Saints -1.5. Vegas starting to get them some respect. We'll give it to Cam. You want to start us here?
I think this is a Philly get-back game, even though it's going to be a short week. But I don't know. I think this New Orleans team is going to run out of juice. I mean, they've been red hot, and I can't really see them matching up against this Eagles team. Maybe that's just a little, story I have in my head based off of 2 years ago when they made it to the Super Bowl. But I don't know. I still have faith in Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, even without A.J. Brown. Saquon with the new addition. I don't know. If you're getting plus points, I'd probably tease that 3.5. But I don't mind them at plus 2.5 either. But I don't know. I don't trust Derek Carr really either. I can easily see him throwing 3 picks in this game, 1 for a pick 6. I don't know.
Michael?
I don't know. I got Saints -2. I mean, I guess I'm just picking a bunch of teams to go 3-0.
Yeah.
Love the high-scoring teams. The Eagles' defense is not – they can't get pressure on the quarterback. They traded for Bryce Huff, who has looked like complete ass, and they got rid of Hassan Reddick, who is also just a bum. I don't like the Eagles' defense.
Right there.
Their offense is –
Wait, Hassan Reddick's a bum? Timeout.
Yeah, he's a bum.
Don't just skip over that.
Right. Skip over that.
All right.
Eagles,
skips over it.
Eagles offense. I don't know. Jalen Hurts is just. I don't know. He wants to be a running quarterback, and then he can't. So he's like, all right, let me be a pocket passer, and just gets out of the pocket every time, misses wide open guys. If he actually takes a normal drop, sits in the pocket for a second, and slings the rock. I think their offense needs to have a pocket passer, and he just isn't capable of doing that. And Cam left to do something. So yeah, I got Saints -2.
All right. Well, while we wait, I'll give my pick.
Did you give a pick? Yeah.
Reverse logic. Give me the Eagles plus 1.5. Everything says to take the Saints. I think this is a big square Saints bet. A lot of money will be on the Saints at home in that dome. Eagles get back spot. Tough loss. Emotional. Yes. What's his face is out, A.J. Brown, but Devonta Smith, I think, is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL. Just watching him play, he's a freaking dog. Still have Dallas Goedert, still have Saquon, still have freaking Dylan Covey or whatever his name is, had like 5 catches last night. I don't know. I think this is going to be like a rock fight. I think Eagles could win this like 18-17, 20-16, something like that. It's going to be a close game, but I do like the Eagles to eke this one out. Saints don't have that experience really of winning close games. We don't really see them on the winning side of those close games. So I'm with Cam. Give me the Eagles plus 1.5.
I don't know. Ever since the Eagles lost to the Jets in like week 10, they're like,
oh, here we go.
They're like 1-9 or something like that. So
they beat the Packers fully healthy in a neutral spot.
Right.
All right.
No response to that. All right. Next game. Chargers, another hot 2-0 team, head to Pittsburgh, who's favored by 2 points. This is going to be a fucking crazy 9-9 game. My pick, give me the better team / coach / quarterback, Chargers. Chargers +2, road. This could be one that I'm like, why would I pick the Chargers? But I think it's gonna be a really close game. I'll take the team who slightly gets 2 points. I think it might come down to 2 points. It's gonna be a really close game. Just it's gonna be a rock fight. Both teams are gonna pound the rock. Najee's looked better this year. J.K. Dobbins renaissance year. So I'll take the Chargers +2. Michael, your thoughts?
Agreed. I don't think the Steelers can keep it going, scoring 13 points a game. Justin Fields hasn't looked great. He's looked very scared, I guess, at times.
Very Justin Fields.
Yeah, basically. I think the Chargers are a very good team in general. They don't really have that many offensive weapons, but if JK can keep it up, if Winston or whatever his name is, what's his name? Receiver? Johnston, yeah.
Quinn Johnson.
And if he can get it going, he's what?
Out of TCU.
Yeah,
True.
He is. I don't know. Justin Herbert's a dog. I just like the Chargers.
I mean, I did ask W on this podcast before I came on, if I could say my over-unders, this over 30 or this under on the 35.5 seems like an absolute lock of the weekend. That's one of my 5 picks. I mean, I can't see this game getting above 25.5, honestly. This reeks of that first week 1 of the Steelers-Falcons game of 15-10 final. Regarding the spread, actually had the Steelers -2. I want to bet on the hot hand, Justin Fields protecting the ball. I actually think he actually gets a touchdown in this game as well. So if you want to sprinkle that. I don't know. I got the Steelers -2 at home. I mean, the defense has been dominating. The Chargers haven't really played that much competition. I mean, especially against a great defense when it comes to the Steelers. I mean, T.J. Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick, have been absolutely dominating on the defensive side of the ball. So, I mean, my pick is the Steelers -2, but my main pick for this game is the under of 35.5.
I don't think we've all agreed on one pick yet.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. That'll be a good one, though. I'm excited. I feel like when the Chargers and Steelers always play, it's a good game, even if it's defensive battle. Next game, the Red Hot Buccaneers welcome the Denver Broncos into their stadium. I think this is still the 1 o'clock window, but there are more 4 o'clock windows, or more 4 o'clock window games. Bucks open as 6.5-point favorites. I'm not sure if that's moved a lot. That's what I just saw. So, Cam, we'll start with you on your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, so I started at -6.5. I don't know. I think the Bucks are in for a wake-up call. I don't know. It's not so much of a statistic kind of feel. It's more of just watching the game. I don't know. I think Denver's kind of due for a close game. +6.5. Maybe it's a garbage time field goal or touchdown to make it within 7. I can't see the Buccaneers. I don't know. I mean, I was taught this is probably my toughest game to pick, honestly. But I think Bo Nix tries to figure it out. Then Sean Payton makes it a little bit of an easier offense for him to read. I'm going to take Denver +6.5.
Bold move.
Michael?
I got Bucks. I think it's an easy pick. I think their offense is way too good for the Broncos defense. Baker has a perfect passer rating when targeting Chris Godwin. They're running the ball well.
Most underrated wide receiver of all time, Mike Evans, I think.
Mike Evans. If he's single covered, throw it up. I mean, I could see the Bucks winning this game by 17 points. I think it's easy. The Broncos are probably worse than the Patriots. Definitely worse than the Patriots. Worst team in the league.
Why do you have to? Yeah, come on.
Hot take.
Yeah, thank
worst
you.
team in the league.
Why do you
Patriots have a win, buddy. All right, there's still 0-2 teams out there.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Worst team in the league. Denver Broncos.
My pick.
I want Zach to start this week.
What'd you say?
I want Zach to play.
I want Stidham. Stidham can actually fucking play. My pick for this one, I see the logic with the reverse, Cam, but I'm on the Bucks. I think this could be a boat race. Broncos, I don't know what you're talking about. Close games. Both their games have been close so far. They almost beat whoever they played week 1, and then they almost beat the Steelers last week. Sean Payton's just an idiot. I think it's about time they got their due. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL. I could see the Bucks winning by like 21. I think this could be like 35-7 or something. It gets out of hand. Bo's just back there. We see the Bucks back up. See some Trask action if he's even on the team still. I don't know. This could easily just be a trap though, and the Bucks win by like 3. But I
mean, before we move on, does this not reek of the Ravens-Raiders game? Like that's,
no, it doesn't, because that was 9.5. Like that was.
I think the Raiders are a decent team too. Like
with the Raiders, it's like, all right, the Raiders are gonna like always come down to it, and like they're gonna lose, yes, but it's gonna be like by 4 because they fuck up like a field goal or something. Like it's always like this. The Broncos, I don't like the Broncos. It could get ugly, especially on the road. I don't know.
That's kind of what I didn't mention in my first segment, but that's why I bet on the Broncos +6.5. It kind of reads the same vibe of where everybody's on the Bucs and not the Broncos, but
I think the Raiders are like a tier or 2 above the Broncos. I think the Broncos are in the bottom of the barrel.
Fair enough.
Agreed.
All right. Moving on with the slate, we have the Packers heading to Tennessee to face the Titans. Titans -3. I'll start it off. This is my favorite pick of the week. Titans -3. Give me all the money on the Titans. Hammer, 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 hammer. I love the Titans. I think this is like such simple money. Malik Willis is a terrible fucking quarterback, and just because Josh Jacobs ran the ball for like 150 yards one time, don't fucking Alex Pereira me. I think this is like so obvious. The Packers are going to get 97% of the money. Titans will just win by like 10 points. It's going to be easy. Titans are 0-2. They need a win. Things aren't looking good. Packers can afford to lose because they're 1-1 now. Malik Willis is not good at football. I will die on that hill. We saw it. He's completed like 10 passes. Yes, you can do that and win against this fucking shitty Colts who also have a quarterback who can't complete 10 passes. Titans -3. Vegas is telling us something. Hammer the Titans. We'll go directly to Cam since you seem to be on the opposite side of this.
Yeah, give me the Packers, not even a fucking against the spread. This is actually, I'm going to tease one of my 5 picks. Hammer the Packers money line. Everybody wanted to pick the Colts last week too.
They were on the road though.
Excuse me?
They were on the road.
Yeah, okay, fair. But you think that this Titans team is better than that Colts team?
No.
Okay, so it's just the home versus.
Well, I think Malik Willis is horrible. I think the Colts play into their hands with Anthony Richardson not being able to throw the ball as well. Levis can at least like air it out, and he has
with
fucking.
With Buckner going on the IR too, their best defensive lineman.
That's the Colts. We're talking about the Titans.
Yeah. Oh, same thing.
We already saw it play out last week. I got fucking trapped. I'm re-trapping the trap. Titans
You're
-3.
This is the
biggest.
I mean,
I need
honestly,
a hammer.
I just can't.
I wish I had a hammer.
I don't see this Packers team losing to an AFC team. Like, period. Never mind if it's the Titans.
So they're just gonna win the Super Bowl.
No, I mean, I just can't see this Packers team. Like, I think they go 3-0 until Jordan Love comes back. I think Jordan Love.
Play, but
I think it's gonna be 3 wins for Malik Willis, and then Jordan Love comes back in week 5 or week 6.
How can you say that with a straight face? Malik Willis is awful.
Hey, you got him a win.
He's supposed to be a first-round quarterback. Gets drafted in the third thing. Has to come in against the
I'm not looking in the
Chiefs.
past. I'm looking in the present. What did he do last week? He led him to a win.
He completed 10 passes and did jack shit.
Jacoby Brissett did the same fucking thing for the Pats in week 1. He threw 15 fucking completions, if that. What are we talking about?
Well, that's different because
what are we talking about? That's different.
Well, Levis
I don't know.
is
I think he
Levis is a better passer.
You feed the ball to Josh Jacobs, and then from there you run off the play action. You have 4, like you said earlier in the podcast. We want to rewind the tape. I don't know how your editor is, but we'll rewind the tape.
Looking him in the face.
4 good receivers on the Packers. We had 4 good receivers on the Packers. I think Malik will find the open guy.
All right, so Skylar Thompson has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, so he should do really well, right? He's got 2 really great wide receivers.
Was Skylar Thompson drafted in the first round? No. All right, so what are we talking
Neither was Malik Willis. He was drafted in like the 3rd round.
That's better than Skylar Thompson.
True. All right. Well,
you're welcome.
What?
Do you see him helping out the homeless people in Indianapolis during the combine? Does Skylar Thompson do that? No. All right.
Yeah, that okay. Well, we'll rewind the podcast as well, where Michael said that the Jets struggle with the run against the Titans. So, if you force Malik Willis to throw the ball, you have tape on him now from this fraudulent as fuck win. This is a hammer Titans. I'm telling you right now, this is the dumbest pick if you pick the Packers. I'm telling you, it's free.
I'm picking the Packers.
Yeah, you guys are squares. Take the Packers. Lose all. Go to freaking the casino. I might throw $100 on the Titans -3. I'm not even kidding. This is my favorite pick of the week, but I guess we're in disagreement. We'll see where things go.
The week last week?
Yeah, that was bad. That was a trap. I'm now trapping the trap.
Yeah, my bad. So you lost your favorite pick.
You're anti-trap.
My favorite pick of the week revolves around Malik Willis.
Okay.
I'm just gonna bet against him as much as possible.
Okay.
All right.
I have the Packers. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this? Anything that?
I think this game comes down to 4th quarter drive. Packers have 14. Titans have 12. And then Will Levis just is terrible.
Yeah. I mean, how can you watch Will Love to be confident betting that man, actually?
I watched him last year.
Oh,
Mayo.
okay.
They're 0-2.
I watched him this
I'm
week.
telling you,
Yeah, I watched him this week. Double pass from his penis to the ground, and then the other defense just picked it up.
Yep.
Everything you guys just said makes me so much more confident that the Titans are going to win this game by like 2 touchdowns.
Good.
I'm not even kidding. Malik Willis revenge game, though. You guys have the Packers. I have the Titans.
That's the other thing. It is also Malik Willis revenge game. That's huge. Whoever was it Kentucky that Georgia played last week? That was a revenge game for him. Revenge games are an actual thing. I will bet revenge games every time.
We'll see about
You
that.
want to change your pick, Dub, or you want to keep talking?
No, I'm riding on this train. I love the Titans. I think I still love it. We'll head to the next game. Panthers visit the Raiders. Raiders minus 5.5. Mikey, we'll start with you. This one, what say you?
Looking. I'm pretty sure I took the Raiders. Yeah, definitely took the Raiders. Andy Dalton's going to be sacked 6 times, maybe I'd say, and they'll score 3 points. Like, it's going to be a bad game. Gardner Minshew is like the definition of mid, and that's all they need. Yeah.
Cam?
Keep it short and sweet. I'm going to take the Raiders minus 14.5.
All right. Well, my pick for this game, I almost put it on the card. I like the Panthers plus 5.5. And I'll explain why. I think Andy Dalton's going to come in once you get a new quarterback. Things get better, as we saw by your guys' favorite quarterback, Malik Willis. It's going to look different. All of a sudden, Adam Thielen's going to have 100 yards, and people are going to be like, Bryce Young sucks. It's just the team's going to be rejuvenated. They gave up on Bryce Young. Clearly, the front office gave up on Bryce Young. Let me go on my rant now, actually. This is the most bullshit benching in the history of benching ever. Like, this is the worst decision ever made by a head coach. Canales should be fired. David Tepper should sell the team. Whoever the GM is, get the fuck out. You bench a guy after 2 weeks, after 14 starts or whatever. That's like, this is Zach Wilson was starting for 4 years. Justin Fields is still starting on a team. Like, this is awful. Yes, Bryce Young has been horrible, but it's like, you give a longer leash than that. Give him at least 2 to 3 years. 3 years is the standard. What happened to that? It's like, this team's not going anywhere. What do you care if Andy Dalton wins you a game and to like not give you the best offensive tackle on the draft? Dumbest decision ever. They fired everyone from last year because they want to be like CJ Stroud. Stroud just walked into like having a crazy situation, a good defense, a good new head coach. Like I forget who the Panthers coach even was last year, but it's like, this is the biggest joke of a franchise, and it's going to continue this week when they somehow cover against the Raiders. They're going to lose by like a field goal, and everyone's going to be like, Andy Dalton's really good again. We love Red Rocket, blah, blah, blah. And Bryce Young will probably have to be playing for fucking a new team next year, and whoever that is, he's going to smoke. Him and Mac Jones will play in a Super Bowl in the next 5 years. Book it.
Wow.
I love that last take. Everything else, don't really love, but
I think the worst decision that they made, not even benching him, was not giving him any snaps in the preseason.
Yeah, they were mentioned. I was watching this Mel Kiper rant that everyone should go watch. Yeah, they played him against the Bills in the last week when the Bills were already not playing anybody. I can link it, but I probably won't. It was pathetic, bro. This team is pathetic. I hope for Bryce that he gets out. You know, I'm a Bryce guy. I'm a Bryce believer. For his own sake, he should get the fuck out of there, and he should go somewhere that needs a quarterback next year, get a new chance, maybe even sit a year. He's going to sit the rest of this year. It's a joke, bro. You're telling me fucking he should be like hitting Adam Thielen, 37 years old, like every play? Or name another receiver.
Oh.
Jonathan Mingo sucks.
Deontay Johnson.
Xavier
Mr. Drop. Mr. Drop, Deontay Johnson. Yeah, Xavier Leggett's
a second-round pick. What are we even talking about?
He's unproven.
Do you think he gets traded?
Bryce?
Yeah.
You have to. You just
like during the year, like pre-trade deadline.
Next year they'll trade him once they pick they're gonna pick Quinn Ewers or they're gonna pick fucking like Jackson Dart.
Dude, they're talking about like trading out of that pick.
They're not going to do what's the plan then? We're going to put Bryce Young back in it. Like, that's so stupid. His confidence is shot. As soon as you bench him, it's over.
I'm boots on the ground. I'm just reporting right now.
No, I know, but I'm telling the Panthers fans. Look at Mac. As soon as he benched him, over. It's done. Like,
I don't disagree, but
as soon as he benched Zach, it was over.
Zach was over from the start. But.
Well, yeah. Bryce Young should be traded. I'm trying to think of a good fit off rip, but there's not one right now because everyone has a quarterback. But next year there'll be a quarterback opening.
Trade him to the Jets. 1 year behind Rodgers.
It would be Miami.
Miami would be
Would be
sick.
Miami.
He'd look like fucking God with Tyreek Hill.
I think legit, if he went to Miami, like they would be probably the best team in football.
I agree with that. All right, enough about the Panthers. I'd
That's
like them to cover the spread. I think what? What we were just
Like
talking
saying
about.
they'd be the best team in the league with Bryce Young as their quarterback, and you're like, yeah.
Yep, I see it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, bro.
Okay.
Once Brock, it's going to be Mac Jones is going to end up on the 49ers once his contract's over with the Jags. And then Bryce Young's going to go somewhere, we'll say in the AFC, because that's how they play in the Super Bowl. Mac, all he has to do is just hit fucking 5 All-Pros like 4 times a game, and all of a sudden they're fucking 11-5 or whatever. Bryce Young, same thing, wherever he ends up, hand the ball off. It's like not hard. It's really like, who was in the Super Bowl last year? The Chiefs and the who?
49ers.
Yeah. So
In the who?
Brock Purdy,
bitch.
Brock Purdy, really good game manager. Jared Goff, really good game manager. NFC is just full of game managers. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know. Bryce Young, I see the vision. Him versus Mac. Alabama quarterback, Saban's like creaming his pants. All right, we'll move on to the next game.
All right, next game.
Still have not all of us agreed on pick. We
What do
have
we got next?
Finns head to Seattle. Seattle's -5.5. I see the trap coming on this one. I forget who started last time. I think I'll go first this time. Seahawks -5.5 is my pick. Love it. Skylar Thompson's dog shit. Seattle looks good enough. 5.5's a little bit ugly, if I'm not gonna lie. That seems like a bit of a stretch. I really don't think Skylar Thompson can play, and maybe this is a Malik Willis trap game. All of a sudden he's gonna look like good. Tyler Huntley they just signed. I don't think he's gonna be ready with the playbook even to play this week. I just watched Skylar Thompson throw the football after Tua was taken out of the game, and he looked horrible. So I think the Seahawks should. What?
Kind of looks like you.
I didn't get a good look at him. I just saw him his helmet. Is he ugly or something? I don't know. I was told I look like Carson Beck.
Some skinny ass white
You
folks.
do look like Carson Beck.
Yeah.
That's a good comp.
Low-key.
That's a good comp.
So yeah, I think maybe Walker comes back. We saw the emergence of JSN that was predicted by many. Still Tyler Lockett on that team. Still DK. Could see DK breaking off against this sort of shitty Dolphins team. They probably will need Kenneth Walker back to cover the spread just due to the Dolphins' run defense was shit, as proved on Thursday night. Seahawks do intend to play down to the other team's level, though. We saw that against the Patriots and the Broncos week 1. However, they did win both those games. I think, home fans in Seattle, let's get this one done. I just really don't think the Dolphins will be good without Tua for now. I think Skylar Thompson's a major downgrade. Mikey, we'll go to you with your pick.
I also got the Seahawks -5.5. Skylar Thompson, a big reason. Another big reason is the Dolphins' defense is not good. I have no idea why they made Jalen Ramsey the highest paid corner. He's hasn't been great in 2 years. He's like 32 or something like that. Can't cover anything. Their run defense isn't good. They lost big man in the middle, Christian Wilkins.
Yep.
I don't know. Dolphins, I had them as the third best team in the AFC East by like a good margin behind the Bills and Jets. And I think the Seahawks are a good football team. Gino's going to hit the guys that are open. Their running game's decent. And, yeah, they'll get it done.
So we'll go to Cam. Seems like you're thinking the opposite.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I actually like Miami. I actually like Miami money line, honestly. I mean, Seattle hasn't really proven to me on what they are. Even I know we've talked about the quarterback conversation, but I don't know. I think you can be creative, especially with McDaniel at the offensive helm. And then you also have dynamic playmakers like Hill and Jaden Waddle. I think, if anything, I wouldn't bet on this game, but if you were to bet on it, I would take Miami to win, and then I would do Hill and Waddle to score. Seems like a lot of value there, especially with the Seattle Seahawks being the favorite. But I'm going to go Miami plus 4.5. I'm pretty confident in their receiving core and their running game. I mean, I don't even know if Kenneth Walker has been announced if he's playing or if he's out again. I mean, their offense didn't really have much production against the Patriots last week.
Yeah, it's only two 200-yard receivers.
All right, they had that one busted play in his zone coverage because Christian Gonzalez was a man-on-man on DK, all right? Because Christian would have fucking dialed them up. But, anyways, I think Miami. I'm going to take Miami plus 4.5 on the spread. But if you want to be a gambling man and not do that, I would take Tyreek and while the score with Miami to win. Better odds there.
Don't love that at all. Next game, Lions. The Detroit Lions, after a tough loss this week, head to Arizona where they're 3-point favorites on the road. Cam, we'll kick it back to you.
I love this game. I'm actually teasing this to minus 6.5.
For the Cardinals?
No, Lions.
Wow.
Yeah, I love the Lions in this matchup. I think the Cards are fraudulent as fuck. I don't trust them at all. They remind me so much of the Saints. So unproven. Like, they have no consistent offense. Sure, you want to bet on Kyler Murray? Go ahead. What consistency has he proven in his entire career? Never mind with a completely new receiving core. I don't know. This just reeks of a Lion comeback win, especially against a loss against the Bucks. I don't know. I'm taking the Detroit Lions minus 3 if you want to tease it to minus 6.5. You know what? Fuck it. Make it 9.5. I'm taking Detroit.
Interesting. Michael?
I got Cardinals. I'm
Square.
a huge Kyler guy. I mean, the man's just an athlete. Top 10 pick, NFL, MLB.
All right, baseball.
Baseball guy.
Yes, baseball, yes.
I don't know. The Lions are, like we were talking about before, they play a lot of close games. They lose some of these close games. 3 points. This is going to be a field goal, maybe a 5-point game. I don't know. I'm taking Cardinals.
This is like the antithesis of the two like close team games or close.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah,
The
that didn't make sense.
Games.
The antithesis of the two teams who play really close games. I'll break the tie. I'll take the Lions minus 3 on the road. Better team, better everything.
Quarterback.
Every time the Cardinals play, I'm going to say the other coach is better because that guy's a fucking screw job that their coach
Yeah,
is.
he's a moron.
Week 1, obviously you lose to the Bills. Bills were kind of figuring it out, had a whole new offense. Think that was kind of a fraudulent, like close loss. Granted, that's not really a thing. Next week, Rams. McVay was kind of out of that game, as you could see if you're watching that show on Red Zone, because they could only show 3 games because that stupid scheduling. I don't think that was a good win. Yes, they went up early. Marvin looked good, but Lions should be better defense. Coming off a loss to Cardinals 2-0. I think the Lions take this one. The minus 3 scares me a little bit. I'd like minus 2.5, but Vegas thinks it's minus 3, so maybe they'll win by a touchdown.
By half a point.
Yeah, maybe we'll buy half a point. All right, moving on to what's probably the game of the weekend for America. We have Baltimore heading to Dallas. Dallas +1 at home, basically a pick 'em. Pick for me. I'll start it off. Ravens, simple. Must win for them. Cowboys, NFC is a little weaker. You're not going to whatever. Ravens have been on the cusp of winning both times, literally by an inch in week 1. Week 2, they got upset by the Raiders. It's do or die time because if you start 0-3, you're not coming back. I do still believe in the Ravens. I like Lamar. I trust Lamar over Dak. I trust Harbaugh over McCarthy. This is going to be a really good game, or it could just be an ugly game where the Ravens just come in and take a shit on the Cowboys like the Saints did last week. I think this is simple for the Ravens. Cowboys seem to not really have it together at the beginning of the season as well. Always seem to start themselves in a little bit of a rut. I like the Ravens here, -1. Cam, we'll go to you.
Couldn't agree more. I think as you said, couldn't have said better myself. I'm thinking Baltimore -1. I mean, I'd probably take a money line just to not fuck around with the spread or whatever. I have them included in my 5 picks that we'll get into later as part of a parlay. But I love Baltimore in the situation, not touching the Cowboys at all.
Michael?
This is my least favorite game to pick because I don't like either team. I don't like Lamar in close games. I think this will be a very close game. I don't like Dak in general. But I took the Cowboys.
That's a respectable explanation.
It's like this game's going to be a high scoring, maybe like 27-24, 30-27, something like that. I don't like Lamar in close games, and I think this will be one. So, going Cowboys.
Okay.
All right, interesting. I think that one will be close for sure. Rounding out the 4 o'clock slate on Sunday, we have the 49ers, fresh off a loss, head to LA to face the Rams. Rams at home, but that is not really a home stadium. Rams plus 7.5 at home. Michael, we'll let you start this one out. What say you?
Second least favorite game to pick because
Or
Kyle
Bucky.
Shanahan's going to get like, I don't even know who, some practice squad guy to run for 147 yards and a 7th round pick to receive like 180 and 2 touchdowns. But the Rams also are without their top 2 receivers. Kyron's not been great to start the year. Their defense is okay. I picked the Rams on my sheet, but I think I'm swapping to the Niners.
Swapping to the Niners.
Just because of Kyle Shanahan. And yeah.
What about McVay, though?
Don't care about him.
So
Fuck you.
I'll pick my spread as the Rams plus 7.5, which I'm probably the least confident in out of all my bets. I'd probably pick this bet more. Kyle Juszczyk to score a touchdown. I like the value there. I just think they're going to get creative and find a way to score the ball where a lot of their top receivers aren't or playmakers aren't in the game. And Juszczyk can still make plays. I mean, even if they get down to the 1, they probably don't want Brock doing a little QB sneak in there. I think they hand off to Juszczyk as opposed to running back. I don't know. I like to Juszczyk to anytime touchdown scorer, but for the spread, I'm just going to do the Rams plus 7.5.
Yeah, I'm with you. Rams 7.5. I think it's the perfect number. Rams
Agreed.
always play the 49ers close. It's going to be one of those games where like everyone thinks the 49ers are going to smoke them. First half, it's going to be like 6-3 or 6-6. Rams on paper should not be in this game at all, considering their home stadium's a joke and they are out with all their players, as Mikey mentioned. But give me the Rams. They always play them close. Stafford's still there. Stafford's top 7. So give me Rams plus 7.5. I like that one with a little cushion there. I don't know if it was plus 7. I think I'd probably switch, but the 7.5 gives me hope for the Rams to cover this one. Sunday Night Football, we head to Atlanta as the Falcons, who just pulled off a crazy win over the Eagles, host the Chiefs. Falcons plus 4. My pick for this one, sticking with my trend, I'm not picking against the Chiefs this year, so Chiefs minus 4. It's ugly. It's not. If it was minus 3, I'd like it a lot better. But all you need is a touchdown, 5 points, 6 points, whatever. I think betting against Mahomes is just stupid. It's like unless there's like a big point spread or a cushion or something, I am just not going to do it. I've learned my lesson too many times from last year's playoffs. So give me the Chiefs minus 4. Cam.
Yeah, well, I was just doing the lines off ESPN Bet pregame, so I had my line at 3.5. So I took Kansas City at 3.5, and then I probably would have teased it down to 2.5. But the more that we talk about it, if it's at 4, I kind of like Atlanta plus the 4, honestly. Building a little bit off momentum at home. And Patrick Mahomes isn't that great against the spread. I mean, granted, he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now, as painful it is to say as a Patriots fan, as he competes with Tom Brady's record. But I don't know. I think Atlanta can make it a field goal game at home. I prefer to take Atlanta plus 4.5 or the Chiefs minus 2.5. But for now, based off the Dub podcast, we're going to go with Atlanta plus 4.
Oh my god! I also had 3.5. Yeah, I still took the Chiefs.
Yeah,
can't play against Pat. Dubs steered me right. I bet against them week 1. Won't do it again. They're just, yeah.
It's like if it comes down to it, would I rather be against the second best quarterback of all time on the spread, or would I not be? So, yeah.
Also, Kirk prime time. I know they got a win yesterday, but
Chiefs defense
off a short week too.
Chiefs ain't giving that fucking bullshit ass 1-minute drive like the Eagles choke job. The game being in Atlanta is interesting. I think that'll be a nice crowd, but I see Chiefs by a touchdown. So we head to Monday night, a double header, which is the worst thing in the world. I hate it, but
Yeah.
we're gonna have to watch it. Jags head to Buffalo. Bills -5.5. Michael, we'll start with you here.
I took the Jags +5.5 because the Bills are not going to be a high-scoring team, I feel like, this year. And I think the Jags will be able to keep it close, even though their defense and also Trav has just been lackadaisical, I guess, for the first two games. I think primetime games, I feel like, usually are pretty close. 5.5 is a lot. I think it'll be a 3-point game. Taking Jacksonville.
Okay.
I couldn't agree more. So I actually did a little bit of math outside of the neutral site games. The home teams were 13-18 against the spread. So a negative record, like below 500 against the spread as the home team. I love the Jags here at -5.5. I think the Bills are kind of due for a loss.
+5.5. You mean?
No, oh yeah, sorry, yeah, Jags +5.5. Sorry, yeah, thank you, Doug. Jags +5.5 against the spread. I mean, the away teams have been having their way against these home teams in the past few weeks, especially in prime time, like Mikey said. Typically a low-scoring game, and I think the Jags, if it's a low-scoring game, could even pull away with a win here. I haven't really been too impressed with this Bills offense. Granted, they scored a decent amount against the Dolphins with Tua getting hurt in early in the third
that game was
quarter. I mean, they barely scraped it. I mean, they had the battle back from the Cardinals. And granted, how much do you think of that Cardinals team? So I'm going to take the Jaguars, especially bouncing back after a 0-2 start. I'm going to take them +5.5. That's my pick for the first Monday night game.
Well, I will take the Bills -5.5. Trusted the Jags too much. I just don't think that this isn't a good spot for them. Buffalo's gonna be fucking crazy. Primetime game. They can just fucking run it down their throat. Jags seemingly have a way to choke away games. So if it's close, they're guaranteed to lose. Yes, they could cover 5.5. That is a generous spread, I feel like. I thought the Jags would be better this year. They're not. We saw them go up against a tough defense last week. The Browns fucking choked. I forget who they played week 1, but they choked that game away too. The Dolphins, actually. So by transitive property, the Bills have played the Dolphins. The Jags have played the Dolphins. The Bills destroyed them, and Jags lost because they choked the game away. So give me the Bills. Better team, better quarterback.
On that, actually.
Second best quarterback in the NFL, Josh Allen. I'm not sure if Trevor's even top 15, but that's a conversation for another day. So last game on the slate, Commies head to the Bengals, Cincinnati. Second start of a Monday night doubleheader. Now, maybe there's a chance we'll all be on the same page for this one. I'm taking the Commies +8, bro. Prime time seems simple. It's like it's going to be a close game. The Bengals week 1 through 5 just suck ass. The Commies might win outright. Like that, I would not be surprised if the Commies win this game.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels has looked good. This could be another rock fight like we saw against the Giants for the Commies. Like they could just kick field goals and be in the game. I want to see Terry get more involved because I'm invested in him in fantasy, but I don't need it. Brian Robinson looked like he had some decent carries last game. Jaden's looked good on the ground. He's been the best rookie quarterback by far. So I'm on the Commies +8. Bengals, I like them to win, but I don't like them to cover the spread. I think this is going to be a really close game, and you're giving them more than a touchdown. This is the biggest spread on the board, I believe. So don't really know what's going on here. Could be a potential trap, but I like the Commies. Michael, I'll hand it to you as our co-host has left again.
Yeah, I'm also on the Commanders. They're 8's a lot. Joe Burrow seems to only play good against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. So I think this game, like you said, could be just a straight up win for the Commanders. Their offense is okay. Their defense is better than I think people give them credit for. Jaden Daniels is probably going to run the ball 15 times for 100 yards against the Bengals. I could see Trey Hendrickson getting a strip sack. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Cam?
I mean, first of all, I'm taking the Skins to win straight up. and I'm also going to parlay that with a Jaden Daniels touchdown.
On the ground?
Why do you have to fucking parlay
yeah.
a plus like 300 money line with a touchdown? Like, just take the 300.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm going to take Jaden Daniels to score a touchdown, and then also the Redskins to score or to win the game straight up. Nice little parlay. But, I mean, for the sake of the podcast, I'll keep it PG for UW. We're going to take the Commanders plus 8.5.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so it took all the slate to finally get us all to agree on one, but thank you for your picks. Send me them after. We'll record them in case you come back on. Now for
Wait, we
my
actually
favorite.
send them to you?
If
I
you
thought you were
want.
writing
What
them
kind of
down.
podcast is this? I thought you had an
I'll-
assistant to fucking write it all down and then.
Sorry, my assistant's on PTO this week.
Dude, where's Allie? What the fuck?
She's on PTO.
PTO,
Now
so.
we have my famous Focus 5. As mentioned before, just over 500 after last week, 5-4-1, where I give my favorite 5 picks against the spread of the week. I've asked these gentlemen to assemble a 5 picks as well, but they're not relegated to just spreads. So I'll let the guests go first. Michael, we'll start with you.
All right. I got Chiefs 3.5, easy money. I mean, don't bet against the Chiefs, best team in the league. I feel like easily through 2 weeks. Surprise, Cardinals plus 3. Do we have 3 or 3.5? I don't even remember.
3.
I don't like the Lions. I mean, they were in the NFC Championship game last year. I feel like they could get back, but early in the year, I haven't liked what I've seen. I got the Bucks with 6.5. Broncos are terrible. Could maybe win 2 games this year. And I have the Saints -2 against the Eagles. Eagles are another team that I'm not high on at all. And I got the Patriots with 6.5.
Betting against your own team with the lock. Interesting.
Wow.
I mean, I still think the Jets are going to win. I think it's a field goal game.
I see the vision on all of those except the Eagles.
Okay.
I actually have some of your picks on mine as well. Cam, we'll go to you. This is going to be some convoluted ass parlay shit, but let's hear it.
I do
Can we get a whiteboard to write this down?
Yeah, do I need to grab a
No,
notebook?
we'll keep it nice and easy for you. All right, first parlay. Pats plus 7.5. We're going to tease it up by 1 point. So Pats plus 7.5 and the under. Okay?
Fair.
That's the
Comprendo.
first one. Okay? Second one is Packers money line, which I've already teased on the beginning of the podcast, courtesy of Dub. I think the Packers are a much better team than the Titans, and I don't give a shit who's playing quarterback. I think that team will beat the shit out of the Titans if Will Levis is the quarterback. All right? Third pick. We're going to do a Baltimore money line with Lamar touchdown. Anytime.
Let's take fucking quarterbacks to score running touchdowns.
Okay, fine. I mean, I'm fine. If you don't want to put on anything on it, don't do it. If you want to lose money, go ahead. All right.
Well,
Fourth pick. We have a touchdown parlay.
oh, these go well.
We have Aaron Jones out of the Minnesota Vikings running the ball. Maybe catches a pass out of the end zone. I don't know.
Against that crazy 49ers defense. Oh, wait, no, that was last week.
Yeah, come on. What are we talking about? This is your own podcast. Can you lock in one time? All right.
Were they playing?
I don't know. Aaron Jones is going to score a touchdown, but we're going to do a little flip
Texans.
flop. Josh Jacobs is also going to score a touchdown. Okay.
Ground and pound.
And then we got Zay Flowers also scoring a touchdown to hedge
Jesus.
our.
Oh.
That's just three. That's the hedge our Lamar Jackson scoring a touchdown parlay that we already have. Okay? There's a little method to the madness, all right? 3 touchdown parlay right there. In the final. I think I've already mentioned it, but Jaden Daniels scored 2 in week 1. He'll score another in week 3, seeing how he didn't score any in week 2. Give me Jaden Daniels anytime touchdown scorer. You know what? Fuck it. We're going to do first touchdown scorer with the Commanders. No, sorry. The Skins to win. Boom. Book it. 5th play of the day. You're
Wow,
welcome.
that's a generational 0-5.
Yeah.
I love like. I guess we just have opposite mindsets on gambling. I hate parlays, but best of luck to you. I'll end it off with my focus 5. Quick, sweet, fast, and easy. Browns -6.5 at home against the Giants. Giants are horrible. Daniel Jones is horrible. Mentioned it before. Betting against them every game.
Deshaun
Bucks
Watson is horrible. Sorry.
defense. Bucks -6.5 against the Broncos. Another horrible quarterback. Bucks have looked really good. This could be a trap, but I like the Bucks. Why do we even have a touchdown against one of the worst teams in the NFL? In Tampa too. This Broncos having to come from altitude to the heat. How about that? Third game, Titans. Favorite pick on the board. Titans -3 against the Packers. Think the Titans could win this game by 20 points. Malik Willis is fucking garbage, and I will stand on that take forever. Run defense.
Revenge game, right, Mike?
Revenge.
Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley. Let's get the job done. Titans easily hammer. Seahawks -5.5. Skylar Thompson, another quarterback that blows. I don't know what this offense is going to look like with him in the game. Yes, you have A-Chain. Yes, you have whoever, but the Pats had Ramondre, didn't do shit.
Whoever, Tyreek Waddle. Oh yeah, whoever.
Yeah, fucking blind squirrel can't hit Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. And isn't Jalen Waddle had to leave last game? I don't know. I'm probably benching Jalen Waddle in my leagues. I don't trust Skylar Thompson at all. Last game, Ravens straight up against the Cowboys, -1, money line, whatever has the better odds. Get back spot for the Ravens. This is dead obvious. Cowboys are going to start 1-2. There's going to be questions. Jerry's going to have to fucking have a press conference where he just like spews because he's 90 and just whatever. So 5 simple plays. Yes, I went a lot of favorites, but 4 of them are on the road. 4 of them are at home. Only one road team, the Ravens, where Jerry roll doesn't fucking mean shit. So hoping we can go 3-2, keep the positive record, keep the positive vibes. Thank you, gentlemen, for a great podcast. We'll wrap it off with Cam. You apparently have a lock, but let me guess.
I do have a lock. The lock of the weekend.
Before we get to the NCAA segment, let me guess your lock.
Oklahoma. Oh, sorry. You want to go? Sorry.
All right. I was gonna just guess that you're gonna pick against Q. So go ahead.
No. Oklahoma State against Utah. Backup quarterback Cam Rising. He's rumored to play with a fucked up hand. Give me Oklahoma State plus money at home. Take out a loan, put it on Oklahoma State. Thank you very much. Cheers.
I fuck with that vision. I got caught in Utah -20.5 last week, and he was out, so I got screwed. All right, lads. Thank you very much for coming on today. If you have any social media or anything you want to plug, now would be the time. If not, hopefully we'll see you in the future. This was a great time talking with the boys. So any final words? TJ Friedel.
1 of 1 auto.
Dude,
check it out. Trillion Island.
To winning all our bets this weekend.
Yes, sir. Cheers for that.
Cheers.
Cheers. Finally wrapping up, we have our NCAA Week 3 analysis. I'll give you my 5 takeaways, give you my flash 5 picks of the week. First takeaway from Week 3, Michigan struggles once again against Arkansas State. I'm asking the question, does Michigan actually suck? I think it's something we need to consider. We got hammered by Texas. Granted, Texas is number 1 now. Or they're making the decision to move on from Davis Warren to Alex Orji. I thought Alex Orji should be starting at the beginning of this year. He's kind of a runner, not really good at throwing, so not sure how that one will look out, and I will have a pick for that game coming up. So, yeah, USC game. USC heads to Michigan to play this week. That should be a great game. Of course, I have a pick for that one. Moving on, we had 2 ranked matchups versus Boston College and Mizzou. Mizzou, a big favorite, almost I think it was 17.5 points or something. But BC gave them a good game. Maybe BC is legit. BC lost their ranking due to this game, which I think is bullshit. They should still be ranked. They showed Mizzou, who's like number 6 now, that they can compete. Mizzou's legit for now. SEC's looking really good. Yeah, I think not much more to say about that game. Bill O'Brien's got the boys looking right. Mizzou, I guess, is legit for now. I don't know. I feel like Mizzou is pretty fraudulent. Once we get to SEC play, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up with 3 or 4 losses, but I could be proven wrong on that. Other ranked game, Arizona. They get destroyed by Kansas State. Kansas State looks solid this year. yeah, Arizona was a fraud, top 25, top 20, I believe. So not looking good for the Arizonians out there. Kansas State looks to be back from a couple years ago, and they were pretty solid. So keep an eye out on K-State. I will note that it was at K-State, so that's, Big 12, but it is in Kansas State, so that did play a factor. But still, like 31-7, not good for Arizona. So we had two teams come back strong this week. Notre Dame destroys Purdue. After that, obviously, close loss to Northern Illinois, an embarrassing loss. Yeah, they need to win every game. They do it here. Get it done against a Big Ten team. Good job, Notre Dame. Expect them to be back this week as well, facing another MAC team. Should be an easy hammer, right? Should be not hammer, but easy win for Notre Dame, right? Right? Should be, but we'll see. Oregon in the game versus Oregon State comes back strong as well. Huge win. They needed this for their confidence. They proved they're a top team in the country. Not sure if they moved up at all, but that they got fraud checked a couple times, made it through. Ashton Gentry, and Idaho. Now they just destroy Oregon State. Oregon State's a solid program, solid team this year. So really like that, seeing that for the Ducks. They should be still competing for the Big Ten title this year. Next takeaway, two very close games in SEC. Georgia almost loses to Kentucky by a single point. This was a crazy game. Unfortunately, I was at Dave & Buster's watching all the sports, so they had UFC on one of the TVs. They had boxing on about 98% of the TVs, and then they had Georgia on one little TV in the corner that I had to turn and look. So didn't catch much of this one. Wish I did, but Kentucky almost won. And LSU almost lost to South Carolina. That's where game day was. Obviously, the hype was in South Carolina on this college game day, but LSU gets the job done due to some bullshit. But my message for the SEC, it's fucking loaded this year. You got to watch out. There's no free wins in the SEC. I think a lot of these teams are going to cover the spread at home. I think these are going to be really good games. Obviously, the SEC loves football. It just means more. So awesome to see those two games. I did watch the LSU-SC game, but not as much as the Georgia-Kentucky game. Georgia potentially on the hot seat now. Are they a true title contender? I don't know. I guess time will tell. Big matchup against Alabama. Not this week, but next week. Should be a crazy, crazy game. So I'm looking forward to that one. And last point, no upsets once again. We had a crazy upset last week, but this week they kept it more chill, kept it a little, everything went as expected. This was kind of a lesser slate in the means of, good teams playing each other, but still some fun games. So excited to watch week 4, where we bring in my Flash 5 record. We went 2-3 last week. Unfortunately, Utah missed the injury to Cam Rising, or else I wouldn't have taken that one. Virginia, that was a bad bet. They looked flat. I'm trying to think what the other ones were. Buffalo, we won that. That was simple, easy over UMass. Should probably just bet against UMass every game. And then, Indiana over UCLA. Another easy bet against UCLA. They blow. I'm trying to remember what the last one was. Kansas. That missed the end of that game. That was a joke, though. UNLV, come on, bro. You got to be smoking teams like that. So I have gone into the lab. I have prepared 5 picks. They're all favorites. Sorry, but I do love these 5 picks. As we saw before, Cam mentioned Oklahoma State, so that's his lock of the week. I got 5 for you. Starting it out on Friday night, Nebraska -9 against Illinois. Simple, easy money. Illinois got one win over Kansas, who has been proven to be a fraud now. Nebraska at home has looked crazy. They destroyed Colorado. They destroyed everyone in their path. Nebraska's legit. Expect them to win this one easily by 3 to 4 scores. Honestly, Dylan Raiola is legit. I just like Nebraska a lot this year. I think this is an easy spot to hammer Nebraska. Moving on to Saturday, Army at home against Rice. Rice has looked like dog shit. Army at home, 6.5 point favorites. Give me Army. We gotta pick the troops, man. If you're not picking the troops, you're not a fucking true American. So that's the reasoning. Army, crazy ground game. They haven't lost yet. They look good on the ground. Keeping it close. So I think they'll destroy Rice. Rice is a league below them, in my opinion. I think that's an easy one as well. Next game, Virginia Tech -3.5. Rutgers comes to town. This should be an easy one for Virginia Tech. They lost to Vanderbilt in overtime. Yes, that was a bad loss. Vanderbilt is an SEC team, though. Granted, Rutgers is Big Ten, but Rutgers hasn't played anybody. I think they're a little overhyped at this point. I think Virginia Tech was supposed to be good, and they still will be good. This is a game they should easily win. 3.5 is, it's bad because of the hook of a half point, but give me V Tech over Rutgers. Next game, USC versus Michigan. The pick here is obviously USC, but I see the reverse of it with Michigan somehow covering. I thought that may happen against Texas too, but it didn't, so I'm doubling down on USC. We saw USC beat LSU on a neutral field. Bye week last week, there really shouldn't be a reason why USC doesn't win this game by a touchdown or two. Alex Orji cannot throw the football. Michigan doesn't have a quarterback, and in college football you need a quarterback. Miller Moss is a potential Heisman. This should be an easy slam on USC. I don't know who's betting on Michigan, and probably Michigan will win or lose by like 3 points. But USC is a hammer. I love USC. Last pick, another big game, Tennessee, Oklahoma. 2 of the 3 biggest games of the weekend. Cam give you the pick for Oklahoma State. I'm giving you one for Tennessee and Oklahoma. Give me Tennessee on the road, -7. Yes, new SEC game. Yes, Oklahoma's first real big home game, but Tennessee has looked unstoppable. That offense is crazy. They destroyed NC State. I don't expect them to destroy Oklahoma, but Oklahoma's kind of, slow riser. I don't love it from that perspective. I think Tennessee could cook early and just boat race this thing. Yes, it's on the road, but Nico looks legit, and I love Tennessee, so give me Tennessee -7. So there's the Flash 5 for this week. Sorry, all 5 favorites this time. Maybe I'll look for some underdogs next time, but 6-4 record, hoping to keep that positive. And yeah, thank you guys for keeping along with this long-ass podcast. Thank you to all our guests for sticking along. Stay tuned. Survivor, Penguin, movies, NFL, and NCAA every week that it goes on. So hope you guys enjoyed the guest. Told you I'd be back with guests. Dubcast delivers. Be easy, y'all.